It's Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, President Donald Trump appeared on Joe Rogan for a 3-hour podcast. I watched the entire thing, and I don't normally do that. I don't have that kind of time, but I had to make time for this. This was a really good podcast. It was easygoing. It wasn't full of politician, avoiding the question type of answers. It was really good, really insightful. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Kamala threw a fake Beyonce concert. It was a complete mess. Really, a fake Beyonce concert in Texas in late October when you're a far left candidate. For what reason? What's the purpose? Give me the actual science, the math, the logic behind that. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Charlamagne the fraud versus Anderson Cooper on CNN. I do not like this guy for making me defend Anderson Cooper of CNN, but I had to do it. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. If you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We got a whole lot going on. There is a whole lot happening. Man, oh man, that podcast with Joe Rogan, amazing. Kamala should go on the podcast, but she can't. 3 hours? Listen, the longest I've seen for any sit down, anything like that was with the Breakfast Club for 1 hour. And I'm not quite sure that she spoke for that long. I didn't watch the entire thing. It might have been 20 minutes of her at best, and then 40 minutes of some other stuff that wasn't her. 3 hours of a conversation between Joe Rogan and Donald Trump. Also what the podcast showed, and we're going to get to that more in a minute. Also what it showed is how sharp Trump is to be able to weave. You guys know what he was talking about as far as the weave. Like you're asked a question, you're addressing the question, you answer it, and while you're answering it, you kind of divert to other issues. It'd be a whole separate issue. You talk about that for a good 5 minutes, and then make your way back to the original point and close it out. The weaving. Okay, it makes for a longer interview, more context, more information, more meat on the bone, basically. It's not just political, I got to answer it this way. It's not that kind of media-trained thing. The general public are not unintelligent. We recognize media training when we see it, and we don't like it, quite frankly. We want you to be more honest. Whether we agree or disagree, at least you're being honest. If you are being dishonest, then we can't accurately judge you because you're lying from the beginning. I'd rather you not lie to me. Whatever the truth is, tell me that and let me decide if I agree with it or if I don't. That's how we want to be treated. Now, some people love to be in the Matrix. You guys seen the Matrix movies, or at least the first one at least, where one of the guys turned on them because he wanted to go back in the pod. He wanted to keep eating the steak like he was in the Matrix still. Ignorance is bliss to a certain extent for some people. They rather would just not know anything or keep doing the things the way they've been doing it because it's comfortable. Okay, I'm going to keep voting Democrat because my grandmama did it. My daddy, my mama, I'm going to keep doing it too. Without any kind of reasoning behind it, it just feels comfortable because that's what you do culturally. No other reasoning behind it, which is why you got a Barack Obama who feels so comfy to go on television or wherever he was. He wasn't on TV, but he was being taped. He knew he was being taped, so you knew he would get out there trying to chastise black men, waving the finger, oh, you guys got to do better. That's why he felt comfortable doing that, because he is tapping into a cultural thing that exists within the community, trying to shame us for not adhering to cultural norms. That's what that is. But now people are saying, you know what? I could be a free person. The slavery plantation days are over with. Massa ain't there no more. Massa been dead for 200 years. I'm a free person. I'm a free man. I don't have to do what this what they call him, long-legged Matt Daddy overseer We don't have to do what this man says. We can make our own decisions. So yeah, that might have been a little bit of a weave from me. Going back to the point, Donald Trump is a relatable person. And this podcast really showed that. A lot of your people out here, Tampon Tim, Kamala, really just bad candidates. And if not for this job being so important, like the leader of the free world, if not for that, then how they behave wouldn't really matter. Listen, if Kamala was just a dog catcher or something like this, so low-level position, it wouldn't be a big deal. Okay, her personality, it is what it is. That's fun. All right. Her and Barb will go to the company outing and be drunk off box wine. Okay, that's fine. But when you're trying to be in the Oval Office and you want to be the big dog, you want to be the leader, you can't be behaving like that. You can't have this goofy stuff going on between Kamala, Tampon Tim, and the whole gaggle of nut jobs. Okay? Thing one, thing two, freaking frack, Dumb and Dumber. They can't be in the Oval Office. If they want to do a comedy troupe and go on the road, then have at it, all right? If I want to see Tampon Tim go up there and do a cheerleader routine like he normally does when he goes out there in campaigns, rah-rah, sis, boom, bye, kicking the leg up. If I want to see that just outside of politics, then so be it. But I don't want him to have the finger anywhere near the button. I don't want to have no cheerleader pretending to be the vice president as a man with his finger by the button. Obviously, you got some problems going on and you need to fix it. We're going to get into a lot. I got a lot of videos for y'all, a lot of good stuff. But thank you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, and if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Also, shout out to the sponsors. Y'all know how I do. Shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will be in the box, or just go to patriotpost.us in your browser. Tell them that ABL sent you. Go to my merch website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, go to my regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website, and for each video that I produce, I write an article. And in each article, I got sources from the left, from the right, from the center, politically agnostic, Democrat, Republican, local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it as long as it's legal. It'll be right there on the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. Also on the website, go to the contact page, anthonyblogan.com/contact us. There you can find my email address, my snail mail address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok. Yes, I am 1,000 years old. I am Joe Biden age. Okay. I am 1,000 JB. That's 1,000 Joe Biden. Ain't no more AD, BC, whatever. Nah, we going JB. That's how old I am on TikTok, but I am on there. All my links will be available on the website, on the contact page, anthonyblogan.com. And it's easy to find me. Just go right here in the description box. You can see everything is right there. And as I always say, some of y'all still send me emails talking about I thought I was talking to you in the YouTube comments. You promised me a fortune. If I just sent you $10,000 on Apple iTunes gift cards, listen, I promise that's not me. I'm not going to ask you for anything like that. I don't have a get rich quick scheme. It's not me. So whoever you texting feverishly on WhatsApp to that 100-digit phone number, it's not me. It's probably a guy living 250 deep in a 100 square foot hovel somewhere in southern Nigeria, okay? Or it's going to be a guy who weighs 2.4 million pounds and he exists on the crawl space of some Eastern European bloc. Okay, this dude's Ukrainian, Belarus, somewhere. He going to scam you. He got the first Motorola Razr. He's on there texting you by hitting each key 3 times. He's using that to scam you, okay? And don't nobody got no time for that. If you get him on the phone and they sound like Rocky and Bullwinkle, it sound like Ivan Drago. If he dies, he dies. That's not me. If it sounds like this, it's not me, I promise. Or it's not me. You got to hear my voice and see my face for it to be me. But anyway, before I go too far down that rabbit hole, we got a whole lot to talk about. There's so much going on. Oh, man. The main thing I'm going to get to later is that Joe Rogan experience. Listen, I'm seeing testimony from people who've watched it, people who did not like Trump. So here's what can happen. And it was weird because people like Charlamagne out of touch talking about who cares about Joe Rogan. A lot of people care about Joe Rogan. Wait a minute. Let me just see the numbers for the Rogan podcast while I'm talking about it before we get into it. He was asking who cares, Charlamagne, and it's like, come on, man, this is a really big thing. The viewers he has are just out of this world. There's no podcast bigger in the world as far as I know. As of right now, the Joe Rogan Experience podcast with Donald Trump that came out on YouTube 22 hours ago has 21,172,000 plus viewers. 21.1 million views in just 22 hours. I mean, there's nothing really. What can give you those kind of numbers? Maybe a debate, perhaps. Something like that, a big event that's on all platforms, on all television. I mean, I don't know what can really be bigger. What that podcast did, all of what he's doing, Aiden Ross, all these guys, it's big. People, a lot of your Gen Zs who are just voting for the first time, they're seeing it, and then it just kind of makes sense to them. And what the other side says, it doesn't make much sense at all. It doesn't make much sense at all. The numbers don't lie. That's right, NYC Patriot. Numbers don't lie. The numbers tell you what's going on. The people love Trump. Now, the politicians do not love Trump, but that, in my opinion, doesn't really matter as much because the main thing is the main thing, right? The main thing is the people love him. The politicians, see, it's kind of a war going on between the people and the politicos who think they know what's best for us. That's what they think. They think they know everything and we don't know nothing. So it's up to them to be responsible and to kind of, steer us in the right direction. That's what they're supposed to do. That's what they think they're doing. They think they are helping. It's like that meme of, what's that? What's the boy from The Simpsons where he jumps through the glass? I'm helping. Like that. That's pretty much how it is. Hold on. I'm gonna find that right quick. I gotta find that meme. All right, yeah. Now, some of y'all might get offended, but I thought this was funny. I posted this right when the whole thing happened with J6. Okay, that's pretty much what I think about a lot of people. They think they're helping. Like it's like, sir, what are we really doing? Why are you going head first through the glass window? Like, how is crashing out going to help anybody? It's a weird thing that they do. But that's what happens right now, 2024. It's a weird phenomenon. But we got some more memes. This one, Trump posted it straight from the official Twitter page. I thought it was a good one. Well, we got the iconic picture of Trump serving fries, and then we got a little Photoshop action. Well, it's funny because this is actually a pretty brilliant meme. Let me just read the caption, and then I'm going to describe it, and I'm going to tell you why it's brilliant. So look. The caption from Donald Trump says, when I'm president, the McDonald's ice cream machines will work great again, in all caps. All right. Now, you see the iconic picture of Trump in the drive-thru with the apron, waving, looking like Dave Thomas from Wendy's, RIP to Dave Thomas. Then you have a Photoshop picture of Biden there wearing a Trump hat and an ice cream cone. Now, the thing about it is, somebody, a brilliant person, will come in and say, well, ABL, that's Photoshop, that's fake. Well, what part is Photoshop? Joe Biden with the ice cream cone, Joe Biden at the McDonald's, or Joe Biden wearing the MAGA hat? Which one is Photoshop? Like, let's be clear. Because the MAGA hat, that's 100% real. Or he was just wearing it to be fun. Now, look, somebody might ask me, hey, ABL, put on these pair of high heels. It'd be fun. How about I don't do that? How about I don't do that and I don't say I did? All right. Same thing, Joe Biden. Put on the MAGA hat. No, thank you. I appreciate the gesture, but I'm not going to wear that. But what does he do? I'm going to put it on, stuff this ice cream in my face, and then I'm going to be fuel for memes. So shout out to the Trump campaign for posting that. That was brilliant. Oh, and I got a brilliant ad I got to show from the Trump campaign. These guys, hey, I'm not sure who is all on Trump's team, who all has, access to be able to do this, but this was a brilliant ad. Now, this is Trump. I think this ad was playing during the World Series. If I'm not mistaken. Now, this is him using the Breakfast Club's own audio against them. Charlamagne, DJ Envy. This is them talking about Kamala supporting transgender operations for illegal aliens in the penitentiary or in some kind of detention center, jail, prison, whatever. Okay, check this out.
Taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners, every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
Hell no, I don't want my taxpayer dollars going to that.
Kamala supports transgender sex changes in jail with our money.
Kamala even supports letting biological men compete against our girls in their sports. Kamala is for they, them. President Trump is for you.
Donald J. Trump, and I approve this.
He's so full of Now, I don't know who that is, but obviously it's one of my cousins. One of my cousins got hold of some Trump ads and is having a good old time. So shout out to my cousin, whoever that is out there. Hey, man, I feel the same way you feel. That was a fantastic ad from the Trump campaign. Using the Breakfast Club's own, using their own audio. One more time.
Taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners, every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
Hell no, I don't want my taxpayer dollars going to that.
Kamala supports transgender sex changes in jail with our money.
Kamala even supports letting biological men compete against our girls in their sports. Kamala is for they, them. President Trump is for you.
Donald J. Trump, and I approve this.
He's so full of Great ad, Trump campaign. You guys are doing a fantastic job with these ads. I saw that on TV. I was like, wow, really? They did the they, them. That was perfect. Perfect ad. I love it. And it's weird because Kamala, the more she talks, the more she gives us ammunition. It's like, keep on talking, Kamala. Keep on doing interviews, podcasts, whatever you're doing. Keep on. Keep on keeping on. That's what I would say to Kamala. All right. Don't take no days off. Just put the pedal to the metal. All right. Smooth Artist says, shout out to cousin ABL. Shout out to you, boss. Thank you for your super chat. Now, this is a funny prank. I'm not sure if this is like a setup thing or whatever, because, you know, a lot of times you see videos, the whole thing was fake from the beginning to the end, but it was still funny. Oh! Oh! Now, I don't know what he shot on him. Looks like some kind of chicken meat or something crazy. I don't know what he shot on him. But yeah, don't go mess with people's signs. Now, I don't know, man. I feel like this is a whole thing that was set up. You didn't see this whole big thing. You got two cameras. The whole, come on, man. It's just like a gate in the middle of nowhere. Come on, be for real. But I have seen people get really triggered over Trump signs and crash out. I've seen quite a bit of crashing out. Now, I don't know what's going on here. I've seen this floating around. At a Kamala rally, this was going on. Now, if you guys know the context here behind this at the Kamala rally / fake Beyonce concert, if you guys know the full story here, let me know. But we got an adult screaming at a little kid in the stroller. I don't know what's going on there at the Kamala rally, at the Beyonce concert. But yeah, that might not be where you want to be, man. If somebody's screaming in, if I got a little kid with me, I got a daughter or something like that with me, and then you got somebody screaming, we're not doing all that, man. You could do some Brazilian jiu-jitsu right outside. We're not doing all that. Hey, man, mind your business, I mind my business, but don't be trying to scream at the kids, man. Everybody got to have a boundary. I don't know what Pawpaw was doing. I mean, the dad trying to like scramble to get out the stroller. And she looked kind of big to be in the stroller, to be totally honest. That was a whole cluster. I don't know what was going on right there. But you know what? Rather than asking a bunch of questions, I'm just going to stay away from a Kamala rally, all right? We got quite a bit of mental illness running rampant, a little bit of everything. They showed in that ad on the about the Breakfast Club and the they thems, they showed Sam Brinton. Sam Brinton has got to be the worst, one of the worst people I've seen get a federal government job. A penny thief, a real life penny thief. Remember Sam Brinton? Like, this guy got locked up for stealing panties. Well, stealing clothing from women. And like stalking them too, because the one lady, he kind of saw what she had on. He saw what she was wearing, and then he made his way to her luggage some kind of way. Hold on, I'm gonna put him on the screen again. He made his way to her luggage some kind of way and was able to confiscate her luggage. This guy right here with the mustache, looking like, I don't know, Bob the Builder with a lace dress and some jewelry on. Okay, this guy clearly has problems. Matter of fact, that's Krillin from Dragon Ball Z. Master Roshi, that's him right there. This guy stalked a lady on the airplane, stole her clothing, and it wasn't just enough to steal the clothing, right? To just have at his house for his own personal needs. He took him to a tailor and had him altered to fit his body, and then he went out on public events for the federal government wearing the outfits that he stole. But look, though, you know what I would do if I was hiring for a federal government job? I might do a little bit of a mental health screen, a tad bit of a mental health screening. If you are a man and you come to the interview wearing a dress, that might be sort of a red flag. Hey, this guy might not be mentally healthy. This guy might not be a good candidate. I mean, am I making sense? Am I a bigot? Am I somehow a racist for talking about this white guy looking like Krillin, Dragon Ball Z? Does he have powers? Is he going to start training? Is he going to go to Planet Namek? What's going to happen next episode? Are we going to have a 25-part cliffhanger with this guy? I don't know. But anyway, shout out to him. And shout out to the federal government for hiring the dumbest people, the most incompetent people. They always do that, which is why I always say I do not like the federales. They suck. They're incompetent. They're not really swift people. And that's something else. In the podcast with Joe and Trump was talking about that a lot, how dumb these people in government are. Okay? That is a constant theme, and I've seen that for quite a while. Okay, now, let's watch this. Shout out to Right Wing Angel. I'm not sure where this video came from originally, if it's his or if it's somebody else's, but shout out to him for posting it. Let's watch.
Kamala Harris. Let's get one thing crystal clear. The vast majority of American men have no issue with electing a female president. Our issue lies solely with you. You were second in charge of California for 13 years.
As California's Attorney General, Harris promoted enforcement of a law that allowed prosecutors to seek jail time for parents of truant kids.
As a prosecutor and law enforcement, I have a huge stick. So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy.
I thought that was crazy. I was like, how can you lock parents up?
I got a question for anybody out there, anyone who may be in education, maybe in law enforcement or something related to this. Does the practice of locking parents up for their kids' truancy, does that help anything at all? Is that really going to help anything? I mean, like, give me the science behind that.
If you don't go to school, Kamala's going to put you and me in jail. Yes, we achieved intended effect.
I opened the door and I see at least 7 or 8 cops like wanted to arrest me. As a matter of fact, they did.
And frankly, you know the prosecutors in my office who volunteered to do this? My homicide prosecutors, my gang prosecutors. And they went over there, and I said, when you go over there, look really mean.
She had me arrested and prosecuted because my handicapped daughter was sick in the hospital and had missed some days of school.
I learned that with the swipe of my pen, I could charge someone with the lowest level offense. That person could be arrested. They could lose time from work, and their family maybe lose their job. They'd have to come out of their own pocket to help hire a lawyer. They'd lose standing in their community.
I lost my job and couldn't pay rent, and we got evicted.
So, I mean, when people say, if you don't want to vote for Kamala, you're somehow, like, and you know, the main thing now is they want to attack black men. That's the main thing, specifically black men. We've been attacked by so many people, it's ridiculous. And then in the midst of them attacking us, they'll say, well, we're the good ones. We're on your side. We're not the racist ones. But Stacey Abrams, Barack Obama, Jamal Bryant, the list goes on of these people who have attacked us publicly, black men, not just people, not just Americans, but black men. Look at this right here. Okay, this is Stacey Abrams, M1 Abrams tank, Big Mama, Precious. Stacey Abrams, black men who don't support Kamala are sexist and racist. Quote, I know it's a shock to everyone, she claimed. So why is it okay to attack people based on their race? Why is it okay? And again, they'll say, we're the racist ones, but they always talk about white people specifically, and especially heterosexual white men. That's their enemy number one, although everybody who says that is married to a white person. Okay, was there no audio? What's going on? My audio's low? Okay. Let's fix it. Let's fix it. Is it better now? That's weird. See, my mixer is passing away. I got to get another one. Hey, Rode, shout out to Rode. Let's get it together. Okay, y'all got me together. Let me just make sure that I got a setting. I gotta control a setting right quick. Yeah, let me go to my sound control panel and see what's going on with my mic. All right, shout out to Rode Products. Everything looks good on my end. That's weird. Okay. Yeah, I watched the chat, especially since it was lighting up. Everybody was saying it. And I see my levels down there, so they look pretty good. But back to Stacey Abrams. I don't know if y'all heard me, but I was talking about how we get attacked as black men, and it's okay. It's not really a big deal. It's like, whatever. You're a black man. We just attack you, and it's no problem, and nobody can say anything. So I'm not a fan of that at all. All right, let me keep on rocking and rolling. Yeah, the chat's on fire for sure. The chat is on fire. I'm going to go back to Kamala. Let me see if you can hear that. Maybe playing that kind of interfered with it. I don't know. Let's see.
Weeks later, I could dismiss the charges.
Okay, test. Okay, it should be fine.
But their life would forever be changed.
I became homeless. We had to move into a motel.
All because of the swipe of my pen.
I don't agree what Kamala Harris did to my mom. And I don't agree with what she's done to other parents as well.
You were second in charge of the United States for 4 years.
If anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Inflation is hitting the highest level in 39 years. A record high number of illegal crossings.
Crime's been surging across the nation.
Huge spikes in homicides.
Could we be heading toward World War III?
After 17 years of failed leadership, you are now asking us to trust you as first in charge of our country.
I am concerned and focused on big issues.
I mean, look, you see all of this coming from Kamala, coming from the Biden-Harris administration. Why would anyone want to vote for her again? What are you voting for? What is the reason? Because she's a AKA, because she's a so-called black woman, although she's not a black woman. She's just a woman of color, a colored woman. She's non-white. Is that the reason why you wouldn't vote for her? That's ridiculous. It's dumb. It's the dumbest thing in the world to vote for someone based upon how they look. Your policy is all that matters. If you get good policy, let's do it. If you have bad policy, then I can't do nothing for you. That's pretty much how that is. So yeah, if anyone out there votes for her, I don't know what to tell you. Now we got some street interviews here. We got some street interviews. All right, somebody's upset. Somebody's triggered right here.
Trump's an asshole.
Why is he an asshole?
He's an arrogant son of a bitch.
You're just being biased.
He's been married 3 times.
Oh wow, let's get personal.
He's cheated on his wife.
So what? He can't have a side girl on his side. What side
Not
piece?
very presidential.
What does that?
Other chicks is not presidential.
Yeah, but it feels.
Side chicks are not presidential, but wasn't that what Kamala was when she was with Willie Brown when he was married? Isn't that exactly what she was? Maybe I'm tripping, but if having side chicks is not presidential, then being a side chick is also not presidential. If you're going to carry it like that, fair is fair, sir. Fair is fair. All right, well, we got more.
Moved to Oregon for an abortion. Are you cool with that?
No, that's very sad. What percentage is it of those women?
What do you mean, what fucking percent? All of them. That's where they get abortions by coming here.
Every woman that's getting an abortion is due to medical procedures?
No, most abortions are.
No, they're not.
Abortion was of a dead embryo.
Okay, sorry to hear that.
That's most abortions.
That's not most abortions.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Most abortions, what they say, like 99% or more are elective, meaning it was inconvenient. I just didn't want to have a baby. It wasn't ready. It wasn't time. It wasn't. 99% of abortions are not for medical reasons. Okay, so you're talking about somebody, it's to save their life or something like that's very rare.
Yes, because
have you looked at statistics?
Most abortions are cleanups after miscarriages, and women can't even get those denied.
No,
now.
It's less than 1.7%.
No, you're a fucking moron.
You don't know the statistics.
Miscarriages are extremely common, and most women opt to have.
Miscarriages and abortion are different. What is abortion?
No, a miscarriage is a medical abortion.
No, it's not. Okay, let me educate you. Okay.
Yes, it
hold on.
Get
back.
Hey. They go to fighting. There he goes. Jerry.
Hey, that's not okay. Don't put your hand.
Hey.
Yeah, so there we go. They get mad. They get triggered. Now, normally when they feel like they're not really so brave, they'll say they'll say the N-word at you. They love that. That's their favorite word. They'll say the N-word and then run away. Something crazy like that. Some kind of thing to make you really be upset. They'll say that and then run away. But these right here, these Super Karen 5000s, they're ready to go ahead and swing their iced latte and knock you clean in the face with the MacBook Pro. Okay, they got a satchel and they have their iced latte. They're going to swing both of those things and get the real rumbling. Okay, now I would say to anybody, man, just keep your hands to yourself. We can have a civil conversation, but I ain't trying to see nobody get Kevin Nash power bombed on the side of the road. I ain't trying to see nobody head hit the back of the neck on the cement in New York City. I don't want to see that. So keep your hands to yourself. Let's have a civil conversation. Okay, because you might go like this, boom, it's going to be a whole wrestling move.
You hear that?
That's most abortions.
That's not most abortions.
Yes, it is. Because
have you looked at statistics?
Most abortions are cleanups after miscarriages, and women can't even get those denied.
No,
now.
It's less than 1.7%.
No, you're a fucking moron.
You don't know the statistics.
Miscarriages are extremely common, and most women opt to have.
Miscarriages and abortion are different. What is abortion?
No, a miscarriage is a medical abortion.
No, it's not. Okay, let me educate you. Okay.
Yes, it.
Hold on. Get back.
There you go, man. That iced latte is everywhere. It's everywhere. All right, they go to the MacBook Pro is right in this purse. Okay, you see this? You see the square shape? You already know what it is. She worked very hard on a remote job for about 45 minutes at the Starbucks, and still got the coffee from there. She's on her way to watch a play or something at about 2 p.m. And here comes this guy talking about abortions, all this, that, and the third. That's going to set her over the top. Okay, she not running on nothing but the coffee and maybe one of them little high-calorie cakes they got, a little lemon cake, a lemon cake and a little bit of coffee. That's all that's fueling Super Karen 5000. All right. So, yeah, shout out to them. And if you like what you're hearing so far, y'all know what to do. Now, here's somebody else getting offended, and they got something in common. This person and the last person got something in common. Shout out to Turning Point USA. Hey, Turning Point, by the way, Turning Point does really good work. Shout out to them, especially with the young people. Now, somebody's upset at a Turning Point setup here. I'm not quite sure where this is. I would guess somewhere west of the Mississippi River. I would suppose somewhere out on the left coast. That's what I would guess, but maybe I'm wrong.
Hey!
What, you worried I'm gonna stain your fucking signs that are telling lies to people? Why would you do that? I'm so sorry. John! Kids still can't change their gender. You fucking tried to talk to you, asshole. I just tried to talk to you.
Alright then.
So, okay, can I ask a few questions? First of all, I'm hearing this voice. Like, what is going on here? Is that a male? What are the pronouns for this individual? Is it she, her, they, them, zir, zim, who got the keys to my bimmer? Like, what is this person's pronouns? First. Second, do we have like tomato paste? You could have made a nice succulent Italian meal with that, but instead you want to go dump it on my display at Turning Point. Like, what's really going on? Not my display literally, but I'm just speaking from the standpoint of somebody that's over there. Like, what are we doing?
I think we're good. Just we try to keep it. If you enjoy getting the stain out.
Man, you know what? The funniest thing about these the they thems that crash out like this, it's like you're supposed to be so feminine and demure and cute and cutesy. Ain't that what y'all say? Demure and cutesy. Y'all aiming for that, but I'm still seeing male aggression. You out there like Conor McGregor. Put them up. You like that still. So I'm not really, the feminine angle is not very convincing. You got the same voice and the same male aggression. So I'm not really buying the act here.
Hello. Could you please not do that?
Why?
Because this is our stuff.
Can you please not do this?
We were allowed to table here. We actually have a permit.
Yeah?
Yeah, we do.
I'm not touching you. I'm grabbing your phone.
Well, that's yeah, you can't touch his phone.
I'm not touching your phone.
Yeah.
I'm covering the camera.
Okay.
You're not touching it.
So there we go. That's the kind of person that's going to crash out on you at these events. Hey, man, my philosophy is keep your hands to yourself and there won't be no problems, man. You can identify as whatever, man. You can look like you got a little bit of stubble going on. You looking like Balky from Perfect Strangers. That's fine. But keep your ragu and all that over there. Don't throw that on me. That's all I'm saying. Okay, that's all. That's my only request. It's really not that difficult. Now, did you know that Joe Biden was still the president? Did you know that? Because I totally forgot about my man. I totally forgot. I didn't know that he was still here. I thought he was just in Rehoboth Beach chilling out, driving the Corvette or whatever he's doing. Here he is the other day.
And to the Gila Indian River community, the Gila, nothing wrong with me.
Yeah, nothing wrong with me. I'm totally fine. This is really crazy. I mean, for real, like, just go to let him retire or just sit down. There's no sense in him doing anything else anymore. Like, why? Why have this guy go out there and do anything anymore? Everybody knows that he was put in there because they had no other choice. He was their only hope. And now he's done, and they're trying to have Kamala get in there. Just focus on Kamala. There's no need to have this man out here doing anything. Have Jill go out there or something. But to have him, it doesn't make any sense, in my opinion. Look, it's about to be November. In my opinion, it's already over with. I'm not saying don't go out there and vote. Vote. Use your right to vote and vote for the right guy. But it's over. So, I don't know, man. There's some evil people. Okay, let's keep on rocking here. We got Kevin O'Leary on CNN. This is funny. Talking about Kamala not being democratically elected, which she wasn't. The very same people who say that Republicans and Donald Trump specifically are a threat to democracy, they don't say anything when it comes to Kamala being appointed as a Democratic Party's nominee without an election. People talking about, oh, well, people voted for her because she's on the ticket. Listen, that's not who they voted for. They voted for Joe Biden to be the president, not Kamala Harris. Joe Biden was nominated, not elected for the 2024 cycle, just nominated to be the nominee. So if you want to replace him, he has to actually run and then win and then get replaced, or replace him right now and then have Kamala run as a president because she's the incumbent. But they didn't do any of that. Let's watch this.
I would like to introduce the concept of the panel tonight. It's going to be a short dissertation, but I want you to think about this because I watched like you did yesterday, and something hit me pretty hard. Only 90 days ago, Pelosi went to Biden and said, you need to step aside, and convinced him to do so. He made the decision, and he did actually ask her, and we've now learned this, is she the right person to drive this home? He questioned that. He could have said, we need to run a process in order for me to make this move. But they decided not to. I don't know who they is. Was it Obama? Was it Pelosi? I don't care who it was. In stock picking, just listen to this analogy. And you may agree, you may not. 88% of managers, because this is the world I live in, cannot beat the S&P year in, year out. So you give them $1,000, the S&P beats them. They can't pick stocks. This is the second time the Democratic Party has circumvented democracy and chose.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. Hillary Clinton was chosen.
The chorus of denial from CNN is crazy. That is hilarious. Did you guys catch that? Wait a minute. Let me just go back a little bit.
Percent of managers, because this is the world I live in, cannot beat the S&P year in, year out. So you give them $1,000, the S&P beats them. They can't pick stocks. This is the second time the Democratic Party has circumvented democracy and chose.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. Hillary Clinton.
Yes, it is true because the American people did not vote for her. They voted for Joe Biden. You can't vote for the vice president. You vote for the president. Okay, so they after all the primaries, they said, all right, never mind. Let's just go ahead and put Kamala in there, knowing full well that Joe was not going to be able to make it before the primary. They did that just as a formality. What they did with Kamala was a very undemocratic process. But CNN can't let you guys know that because that'll just ruin your faith in the political system and the Democratic Party specifically.
Hillary Clinton was chosen, and she had Bruce Springsteen too, and what happened to her? And now we've chosen...
Kevin, Hillary Clinton won a primary, okay? She won a primary. You may not
Nobody
Hillary Clinton, but we're talking about Kamala or Hillary Clinton?
Could compete with her, even Bernie Sanders.
She won a primary.
Okay.
First of all, that's the first
thing.
thing.
So did Kamala Harris win a primary?
Listen, we've talked about this before.
What's wrong about talking about it tonight after what you just saw?
Do you think that's really what matters to voters?
Right now.
I don't matter. Don't ask these questions. It doesn't matter. Why are you asking these questions? Nah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it for real. And let's stop trying to evade it. Let's stop trying to avoid the topic. Answer the question. Do you think Kamala Harris was democratically selected to be the Democratic Party's nominee?
No.
And the answer is no, if you're being honest.
Many Democrats wish.
Your whole shtick has
Hang
been,
on a second.
let's talk about what matters to voters. Do you really think voters care about the internecine primary process?
Yes, we do care about a democratic process. Look, if we don't care about democracy and a democratic process, why do you guys keep talking about Trump being anti-democratic, trying to end our democracy, trying to ruin our democracy, him being a threat to our democracy? If Trump being a threat to our democracy is a problem, then why is Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, the Democratic Party, circumventing democracy not a problem? You see, in one instance, you have a guy you say wants to interfere with democracy. He wants to end democracy. He wants to do undemocratic things. On the other side, the Democrats actually did it. But that's not who's being criticized here. It's bizarro world. Everything's backwards.
If you're a Democrat, you sure as hell care today.
I know that you are from Canada, but the primary process...
That's why I'm perfect for this. I have no skin in the game other than to get a great president.
It's not in the Constitution. The political parties can choose however they want to choose their nominee.
Right.
And as long as they meet the legal deadlines in the states where they are on the ballot, they can do it however they want.
So basically, the will of the people doesn't matter. So what we say, like, if they could just choose whoever they want, what's the point in voting? You see what I'm saying? Come on, Abby Phillip. You could do better than that. You look real crazy on here defending this.
I just
They can
want to be
decide
transparent.
December
Yes, I was born in Canada,
in
but
December 2023 to just handpick somebody.
just to
They
be
don't even have to have a
transparent,
primary.
I was born in
It's just
Canada.
not a
It's
thing.
a Democratic Party
It's not a
process,
thing.
not a Democratic.
No, but my kids were born and raised in Boston. All my investments in the United States. I want the president, whoever it is, to be a
You're
winner.
describing something as undemocratic that has absolutely nothing to do with the democratic
And this
process.
So basically, voting is not a democratic process. I got it, Abby Phillip. When people go out there and vote, the vote doesn't count. That's what you just said. If my vote matters, if my vote counts, then why was my vote disregarded when it came to the Democratic Party's primary? That's what I'd be saying if I was a Democrat watching your show. How dare you say something like that when obviously what happened was a violation of the democratic process? Whatever. That's CNN for you, though. That's why CNN sucks real bad. Now, we got Mel Gibson talking about Kamala having the IQ of a fence post.
The president is being voted on in days. What's your thoughts?
Oh, man, that's a big question.
Or Trump?
I don't think it's going to surprise anyone who I vote for.
Well, so
I got to pause for TMZ. TMZ, don't give me no copyright, man. Come on, like let's just kind of chill out.
I mean, I'm gonna guess. We go in. Yeah. I'm gonna guess Trump. Is that a bad guess?
I think it's a pretty good guess.
Well, what do you think the world will be like in a second?
I don't think any heterosexual man is going to vote for Kamala. And even the LGBTs, if you got a brain in your head, if you have an IQ of more than 75, I think you're going to vote the correct direction, even if you're LGBT. The LGBTs that are going to vote for Kamala are the kind of guys that like to dance drag in front of little kids. That's the kind of guys that's going to vote for Kamala. If you like to steal, if you're a panty thief and you like to wear women's dresses at public events, if you like to have drag queen story time with parents bringing their babies and stuff like this, if that's what you into as an LGBT, then you are a Kamala supporter. If you are identifying as they, them, then you're a Kamala supporter. If you're just a regular person that might have some different kind of personal life going on and you're not out there with it, then you may not necessarily be a Kamala supporter.
With President Trump's second term, a lot of people
I know what it'll be like if we let her in.
Yeah. Oh, really?
And that ain't good.
Yeah. Well,
miserable track record, appalling track record, no policies to speak of.
Yeah, and the border, right?
And she's got the IQ of a fence post.
The president is...
The IQ of a fence post was hilarious. So shout out to the triple OG, Mel Gibson. He's like, nah, we have fence post level IQ. That's not going to really work out too well. Okay. Now, we got a little bit from the town hall. This was a dumpster fire, really. A big dumpster fire. Even CNN couldn't really hide it.
Do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And I also believe that the people who know him best on this subject should be trusted.
Do you think
the idea of fascism, a lot of what they say is just projection. The very things they accuse the right of doing and conservatives are doing in general, the things that they accuse us of is what they do all the time. All the time. Let's keep on going, though.
Is there something you can point to in your life, political life or in your life in the last 4 years, that you think is a mistake that you have learned from?
I mean, I've made many mistakes, and they range from, you know, if you've ever parented a child, you know you make lots of mistakes too. In my role as vice president, I mean, I've probably worked very hard at making sure that I am well versed on issues, and I think that is very important. It's a mistake not to be well versed on an issue and feel compelled to answer a question.
Is there something?
Okie dokie. Kamala, she just don't have it, man. It's a big difference in how Kamala is and how Trump is. Trump, natural leader, businessman, knows what he's doing, experience. Kamala is just a person, like a normie, without the kind of experience that you would want someone to have that they're going to be a world leader.
Perhaps a weakness, some would say, but I actually think it's a strength.
Well, my weaknesses are actually strengths. Oh. Yes. Very good. There you go. Very good.
I really do value having a team of very smart people around me.
I work too hard, I care too much, and sometimes I can be too invested in my job.
Perhaps a weakness, some would say, but I actually think it's a strength.
Well, my weaknesses are actually strengths. Oh. Yes. Very good. There you go. Very good.
I really do value having a team of very smart people around me.
I work too hard, I care too much, and sometimes I can be too invested in my job.
So there we go. That's kind of a little bit of the Office mashup. Shout out to The Office. All right, let's keep on going.
Is there something you can point to in your life, political life or in your life in the last 4 years, that you think is a mistake that you have learned from?
I mean, I've made many mistakes, and they range from, you know, if you've ever parented a child, you know you make lots of mistakes too. In my role,
Kamala don't have it. I don't know. Listen, I don't know what she's going to do from here, but being the president is not it.
I think that.
Now, here's Charlamagne and Anderson Cooper, CNN.
That's why it had a reaction. Donald Trump, he, for whatever you think about him, if you like him, if you hate him, he is certainly who he is. He's showing us who he is every single day.
Yeah, which is a fascist. And it's crazy because you still don't have news networks having that conversation. Yeah. Like when somebody says, when somebody questions Kamala Harris's blackness or is he a DEI hire, y'all will have roundtable discussions about that, asking that question. How come you're not having roundtable discussions asking, is Donald Trump a fascist? Actually, not even asking it, stating it. I mean, when you look at the things that he's talking about doing, jailing journalists, jailing his political opponents, turning the military on American citizens. The guy said he wanted to terminate the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. How come that is not the topic of discussion on networks like CNN every day?
But okay, y'all let me know. You guys tell me, am I wrong for saying that he's wrong when it comes to how the media covers Trump? Because from my point of view, all they talk about is how bad Trump is. The mainstream media, they're known for saying Orange Man bad, all this, that, and the third. Is it just me, or is that really what's going on? Hold on, let's watch this.
Apparently Trump's is going to tape a thing with Joe Rogan. Do you think she should do that?
I think that she should keep calling Donald Trump a fascist. And
a non-answer. What Anderson Cooper asked Charlamagne is a good question. Okay, you got Trump going on Joe Rogan. Should Kamala do that? Would that be a good idea? What does Charlamagne say? Well, just keep calling Trump a fascist. That's not an answer to the question. And it's not going to be enough. You just can't keep saying these buzzwords. Charlamagne, you think that strategy works, but it doesn't. Just insulting someone or calling them a bad name or trying to scare people does not work. Now, for the normies that don't know no better, they already going to, whatever you tell them, they're going to believe it. You tell them the moon's made of cheese. If you tell them to go outside and eat gravel because it's healthy for them, they're going to do it because they don't know no better. That's not all people, but that's some people. You guys who are watching are brilliant. You would never, but some people, come on. We know how it is out in the world. We've seen plenty of crash outs over Trump and like things that don't make any sense, people do. But Charlamagne, you're speaking to people that may kind of undecided. Maybe they're on the fence. For those people, your tactics are not going to work. You can scare your uninformed audience members, but you cannot convince intelligent, educated people that what you're saying is correct without any evidence to back it up.
I think that Americans need to keep looking at the rhetoric of Donald Trump because I don't know why we're even thinking about electing somebody who's talking about putting people in camps. I don't know why we're talking.
Another question. Where did the whole "they gonna put y'all in camps" came from? They gonna put y'all back in chains. Is that where that came from? Did Joe Biden put another rumor out there that you're gonna get put in the camp? You're gonna get put in an internment camp. You're gonna get rounded up. You're gonna get hogtied, put in the paddy wagon for no reason. Where did that fear, that fear-mongering statement come from? Who put that out there in the ethos?
We want to elect somebody who's talking about mass deportation. I don't know why we're having this conversation about somebody who wants to terminate the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. Aren't we supposed to be a patriotic country? Whenever somebody like Colin Kaepernick takes a knee in this country, everybody talks about, oh, that's so unpatriotic. But a guy can say he wants to terminate the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election and nobody cares?
And
like even me bringing it up now, you brought it back to Kamala and Joe Rogan. Anderson?
Yeah.
Who gives a damn?
Charlamagne. 21 million views in 22 hours just on YouTube by itself. Not even counting Spotify, not even counting Twitter, everywhere else where it's clipped and everything. Just from the main 3-hour podcast on YouTube alone, 21 million views. This will probably be one of the most viewed podcasts in the history of podcasting. So when you ask that kind of question, it comes from a place of ignorance, maybe a little bit of hatred, because you guys at the Breakfast Club cannot compete against the Joe Rogan podcast. Nobody can. Joe Rogan is the biggest podcast in the world, from what I'm able to see. So yes, a lot of us do care. I put it to you this way, Charlamagne. More people care about Joe Rogan and Donald Trump's podcast than they care about your show, than they care about Anderson Cooper 360.
Well, I mean, I think you give damn who's elected president, and I'm asking you.
That president is a fascist. That's talking about putting people in camps. That's talking about, once again, terminating the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. That's talking about, jailing his political opponents. Like, that rhetoric doesn't scare people?
See, that's what I'm saying. No, it doesn't scare us. No, because we know it's BS. We know you're trying to scare us. It's like, okay, scary movies. When I was a little boy and I didn't know no better, and I'm thinking everything I see is real, yeah, I'd be scared. Jason, Friday the 13th, all these things. What else? The first It. Listen, I saw the very first It when I was like 8 years old. I was not ready. I was not ready because it was a little bit too realistic. There in a neighborhood looked kind of realistic. Got this rocking chair. It was just too much for me at 8 years old to take. But now at 40 years old, when I see a scary movie, it's funny because the scare tactics don't work on my adult, jaded, crazy brain. It's not going to work, Charlamagne. So no, we're not scared because you guys don't scare us. Your fear-mongering tactics are not going to work anymore.
We talked about this every single. This is what
I don't think
I've been talking about this every night.
I don't think y'all have enough conversations about it. I feel like I heard more on this network about is Kamala Harris black than I do about Donald Trump being a fascist.
Well,
am I wrong, Angela?
Honestly, that's bullshit. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry for the cussing.
Like that.
That's no.
Go
that
ahead,
is
Anderson.
no. I'm not. Look, I'm a huge fan of yours.
Okay.
But to say that we're sitting around discussing is Kamala Harris black, like
I've seen that. I've seen those
that's
roundtable discussions a lot. Now that's
true.
bullshit, Anderson. For you to say that y'all don't have those conversations.
I apologize for the cussing. Please forgive me.
I've never asked somebody is.
Oh, I'm not saying
Kamala
you.
Harris
I said the
black?
network.
He said the network.
I don't think anyone I don't think any anchor on this network has been going around saying, "Is she black?"
Y'all never had
definitely. It's definitely.
We have
been...
had. Look, I'm sure we have had, nutty people or people who have strongly held beliefs who.
Can I ask a question? There's a lot going on. First of all, Angela Rye, I hate her too. She is unprofessional, not dressed properly, ghetto, but not ghetto. Ghetto acting, but not really a ghetto person. You see what I'm saying? Just doing extra stuff because she can get away with it and not get fired. That's what I see from Angela Rye. I don't like her. She's pretending to be something that she's not. When you really a hood person and you elevate like that, you leave the hood world behind. You don't bring it with you. So I don't like her for that reason. I don't like her for that reason. And also, Anderson Cooper, what's going on with this, saying this pale, is that like the thing in Hollywood where you get like a vampire a little bit? Is that the thing? I don't know what's going on. And Charlamagne is basically what Charlamagne does is watch a CNN and MSNBC, and whatever they tell him, he believes it. It'd be a whole drag queen, a transformer to come on the Breakfast Club, and whatever this dude that's 6'8", European basketball player, 6'8", calling himself Miss Jenna, whatever Miss Jenna tells Charlamagne, he gonna believe it.
Who I may disagree with, who somewhere on some panel have said something, but I will just speak up for what I do on the show. I do believe it's important to get people different viewpoints as long as they're willing to have a legitimate conversation. What I don't like are surrogates who come out and just spout talking points that they don't even believe, and those are people I tried to eliminate from having ever on the air again.
I think no network has honest conversations about Donald Trump. Nobody's had honest conversations about Donald Trump since 2016. I saw last night they were talking about, the double standard that exists between Donald Trump and the vice president, but it's always a double standard with Trump, whether it's with Hillary, whether it's, against Biden, now with Kamala. We talk about him being a threat to democracy, but we don't treat him like one.
I mean, but look, though, who's the threat to democracy? Is it Trump? Because, listen, they talk about all the things that Trump might do, Trump's going to do, all these things that they're trying to make us be afraid of, as he admitted. That don't scare you? You're trying to make us be afraid. You say all these things, but it doesn't happen. And in reality, it's you guys on the left who actually do all the things you say that he wants to do on the right. So it's crazy. But, yeah, that's CNN. I don't see how anybody can watch CNN at this point. But, hey, it is what it is. Now, shout out to Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos stepped in and prevented Washington Post from endorsing Kamala. Because Jeff Bezos owns Amazon, of course, and also the Washington Post. So he's the big boss. The employees, the people, the higher-ups at Washington Post wanted to endorse Kamala. He said, nope, we're not doing that. And what are you going to do? I think their lead editor or one of the executives, one of the editors quit. Okay, that's fine. You quit your job, but I'm going to just replace you. That's how I would look at it if I'm Jeff Bezos. So shout out to Jeff Bezos. And I don't think Jeff Bezos is going to want a MAGA hat anytime soon. But I think that he's not going to attach his name or his brand to a loser, to an obvious loser.
So the Washington Post has not published its endorsement for this election cycle, and that has reportedly gotten some staffers concerned. There's growing sentiment within the newsroom at the Washington Post that the owner, Jeff Bezos, who bought the paper more than a decade ago, has delayed the publication of an endorsement. It's been reported that the Washington Post has already decided to endorse Vice President Kamala Harris, and the endorsement is pretty much ready to go. But Bezos is said to be delaying the publication out of fear that Trump may win the election and he could retaliate against Bezos once he's in the office, or at least that is the speculation.
I mean, they always talk about that. They said he's going to retaliate against people. But did he do that when he was the president the first time? It's so silly.
In the Washington Post. Of course, this week, the Los Angeles Times has been engulfed in drama because the editorial board over there decided to endorse Harris, but the owner of the newspaper, Pat Soon-Shiong, blocked the editorial board from publishing the endorsement, and that prompted a top editor to resign in protest. So it's part of a trend of billionaire moguls preferring to keep their distance from politics and not stating their preference for who they wish to see win the election. We know that Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Meta, has told people that he really resents the backlash that he has received for philanthropic efforts that have been perceived as partisan and political by some. And we know that JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon is privately supporting Kamala Harris, at least that's according to reports, but he doesn't want to say so publicly because he doesn't want to risk angering Trump in the event that he wins the election and becomes...
that the fear-mongering about Trump, or he doesn't want to make Trump mad. He doesn't want to get on Trump's bad side. Is that really what's going on here? They're afraid that they're going to get put in the camp. They don't want to get put in the camp, so they're trying to say, let's vote for Kamala quietly. Let's not announce it. They're so silly. They're the ones doing all the lawfare stuff, locking you up over ticky-tack charges. Kamala got on TV and said that if your child misses school, you're going to get locked up as a parent. She did that in California, but Trump is the one trying to lock enemies up over ticky-tack stuff. It's so silly. All right. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for joining. Oh, and I got something from the BART city workers that got fired because of the COVID vaccine. I'm going to play this, and then we're going to get into the fake Beyonce concert and also Trump and Joe Rogan's podcast. Thank you guys for being here. We got 2,800 plus live in the building. I appreciate y'all for joining. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so right now because sometimes YouTube likes to unsubscribe you for some reason. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not subscribed.
Us here on Ground 4 News.
And RIP to the headphone users.
6, I'm Noelle Bello.
And I'm Grant Lotus. BART, which already finds itself in a financial predicament, will now have to cough up nearly $8 million to 6 different employees.
Yeah, they sued the transit agency and won over BART's handling of its employee COVID vaccine mandate. Crown 4's Dan Kerman reports.
A federal jury in San Francisco has awarded 6 former BART workers more than $1 million each.
Now, I'm going to pause right here. I ain't going to play the whole thing, but you get the idea. They were forced. Well, there was a vaccine mandate, and they successfully argued religious exemption. But they made it hard, meaning BART, they made it really hard because people had to prove that they had religious exemption. They had to jump through hoops of fire. Hundreds, if not thousands of people tried to get religious exemption out there in this area, but only 6 were able to get it successfully. Okay, so I hope that more people are able to get settlements. And I was saying that this would happen because I was getting phone calls back then when the COVID vaccinations were mandated. People were saying, what should I do? Should I quit? Should I stay? I'm like, look, make them fire you. They could put you on extended leave, not give you any hours or whatever. Don't quit. Make them fire you, because if they fire you and you're able to prove that you were discriminated against because of your religious background or health reasons or whatever, if you're able to prove that later when all the COVID-19 hysteria dies down, you're able to cash out. So don't compromise your health, make them fire you. But I know that's easier said than done because they may introduce this rule right in the middle of you just trying to make money to take care of yourself and your family, and you have no other choice. And I think if you got vaxxed, you should still be able to sue because you were coerced into it. You were forced into it. So that should be a lawsuit as well. But I knew it was going to happen. It was only a matter of time when the whole thing died down, when everybody just kind of relaxed and stopped being so weird about it. Like, I knew this was going to be the result. I saw it coming. But anyway, let's keep on rocking and rolling. Let's get to some video here. This is going to be from, hold on. This is going to be from the fake Beyonce concert. Now, this was funny. This was hilarious because, okay, I'm gonna just play them coming out without the music. This was funny because, all right, I don't know if this was marketed as a Beyonce concert. All that I do know is that Beyonce was marketed to be there. And I don't know what Kelly Rowland was wearing. It was funny. I was reading the comments. People were like, who's lady in the suit? That's Kelly Rowland, formerly of Destiny's Child, which was Beyonce's first group. Here I am, old man. Sit around, kids. Let me tell you about Destiny's Child. Let me tell you about No with Prize and all of that. Anyway, so Destiny's Child, you got Beyonce, Kelly Rowland, and then a cast of characters, whoever they want to put in there. Okay, Latavia, all these people, Michelle, I think, is like the most recent member that they got. But it was 4 girls at first. And the way it worked is Beyonce's dad was the manager, Matthew. So, of course, Beyonce is going to get preferential treatment, and as well as Kelly, because Kelly kind of grew up as their sister. If you ask me, I think Matthew was Kelly's father on the low because they look identical, but that's a different story, and I digress. So Beyonce came first, then Kelly, because that's pretty much Beyonce's kind of adopted sister a little bit. All the other girls, it's whatever. So Beyonce becomes a solo star, basically, and that's how we have her today. So when I saw that she was going to be at a rally in Houston, which is where she's from, I'm figuring it's going to be like Meg Thee Stallion. She's going to be on stage twerking and things of this nature. Nope. All she did was talk for about 4 minutes and go about her business. That's all that happened. Kelly came out there in the big Steve Harvey collection suit from 1991 BET Comic View from Comic Road shows, getting paid $100 a show in that suit. She came out there, did the same thing, spoke for a few minutes, and that was it. There was no Destiny's Child reunion. There was no song. There was no singing or dancing. No nothing. Okay? I felt like it was a bait and switch because why wouldn't, okay, if I go to the rally and they say Beyonce going to be there, Even if it doesn't say that she's going to perform, I'm going to assume that. See, they played on that to get people to come out to the crowd. That's what they always do, because nobody wants to go to her events. The crowd sizes are always small. It'd be a high school gymnasium with 15 people in it, and then that'd be the rally. To have anything more than that, you got to entice people to come. Okay, Beyonce going to be there, and it's going to be free. You thought it was going to be a whole big performance like the BET Awards. All you got was a 4-minute speech, and that was it. The performance you got was the same from Carmen, the hip hopera movie. That's what you got at this event. Let's keep on going. Now, I think Kamala is also wearing a big suit. Okay, this jacket is a tinch bit too big. Maybe that's a new thing. Maybe the big suits, maybe that's coming back in style. We saw Corinne Jean-Pierre with the big suit, Kelly Rowland. A lot of people are wearing, their uncle's suits unironically.
Donald Trump even said everyone wanted Roe v. Wade to be overturned. Well, a woman in Ohio was arrested and charged after having a miscarriage. So was a woman in South Carolina. They didn't want this. Hadley Duvall, who became pregnant after being raped by her stepfather when she was 12 years old. She didn't want this.
Now, they keep hinging their whole thing on abortion. And I'm like this. Okay, check it out. If all you have is you can delete your babies if you vote for me, that's not really a good campaign strategy, in my humble opinion. It's not a very good campaign to run. You could delete your babies. And then the whole thing about Roe v. Wade, it's actually good that that was abolished because the states have more power over what happens. So if it goes to a federal level and they can change it, then they could just adjust it whenever they want. They could just make little, tweaks whenever they want. But if it's a state thing, then it's got to be your state that decides. And some states may even go more liberal than the current or the previous Roe v. Wade guidelines. All right. So that's how they may do that, depending upon what the people want. So you're living in California and you want a baby deletion farm or something, then I'm not for it. But if the Californians want it, then that's what they want. You can vote on it. You have the power to decide rather than everything being up to the federales. And it might go better in your favor if you get it in your hands on a state level.
Ryan Hamilton, who is here tonight, his wife was denied treatment at the hospital for a miscarriage. They got home, he found her bleeding and unconscious. He dressed her, put her in a car, packed up their 9-month-old child, and drove to a different emergency room where doctors told them she could have died. Ryan didn't want this. Let's be clear. And the men across America, this needs to be said.
Now, before we get into this whole thing about the men, somebody says, I don't like women dressing like men. I don't like it either. I think the science behind women dressing like men is because they think they're taken more seriously. I think that's it. Maybe. If they put on the dress and look pretty as they would want to do, people may not take them as seriously. But I don't care what Kamala wears. She could wear a dress or this big, crazy, out of control, big shoulder blazer. Listen, it doesn't really matter because your policies are bad. You could wear whatever you want. Your policies are not going to change based upon what you wear. But I understand maybe the reasoning behind this kind of outfit. All right, you want to be taken seriously as a leader. But all I see is Hillary Clinton 2.0. And I did not take Hillary Clinton seriously at all.
Men across America do not want to see their daughters and wives and sisters and mothers put at risk because their rights have been taken. I see the men here. And I thank you.
She don't have it. She just doesn't have it. And it's okay to say that. It's okay to say that without being somehow a sexist or a racist, Stacey Abrams. It's okay to say that. It's not a problem. Let's keep on going here. Here we go with Beyonce. Hold on. Do I want to show Beyonce? I kind of want to show Kelly. Let me see if I can show Kelly. And then if not, we're just going to go skip to Beyonce. Oh yeah, there go Kelly.
Welcome.
With the big crazy suit on.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to my Houston family. I am so proud to be here back in Houston with my mama T and my sister. Welcome to this day, this remarkable, this joyous day. A date, a day, a time, a moment with weight and meaning for our country, for our people, and for the world. A moment, Houston, where we grab back the pen from those who are trying to write an American story of division and hatred.
Now, okay, I just want to say something right quick. You know it's bad when the guests you bring on who are singers and at best B-movie actresses. Okay, what was Beyonce in? Carmen, the hip opera with Mekhi Phifer and all these guys, a B-movie at best. And then Kelly Rowland was in that Tyler Perry movie, which was it was so corny. I saw that movie. I was curious. I'm like, okay, let me watch this movie and see what's going on. I had a little bit of time on my hands for once. I was like, let me just watch this. It was so bad. It was so bad. But you know it's bad when these B-movie actresses at best can come out here and read teleprompter better than the presidential candidate. You know it's bad. You know it's really, really, really bad. But hey, let's keep on going.
A moment when we grab back the pen from those who are trying to write an American story of misogyny and racism. We are grabbing back the pen from those who are trying to write an American story that would deny the right for women to make our own decisions about our bodies.
About our bodies. All right. So that's their main thing is deleting babies. That's all they want to do is delete babies. And it's so counterproductive. But hey, they'll learn. All right, I ain't gonna play too much more of that. Let's go back to Beyonce. Somebody said, why is she blind? That's her look. You know what I'm saying? Because she kind of, I ain't gonna say nothing. That's just her look, her signature look.
H-Town. We are so happy to be standing here on this stage as proud country Texas women.
Beyonce, I don't like her. Like I said in my video, I don't like her trying to bully her way into country music. Listen, if you have a good country song, if you have good country music, then that's all that matters. But trying to make it be some kind of black rights, civil rights struggle. They don't accept me because I'm black, all this, that, and the third. Although I'm from Texas, I'm really country. I don't like that. I don't like that. If you can make good music, that's all that matters. If people like it, then they like it. Don't try to force yourself on people. I don't like it.
Supporting and celebrating the one and only Vice President Kamala Harris.
And then the thing about it is you're always on this campaign. Right now, you're at the Kamala Harris rally, but it's about you and your musical career. But you already done proved everything. You're married to Jay-Z. You don't even got to work no more. Now you just want to be an activist. And I don't like that.
A woman who's been pushing for what this country really needs right now. Unity. It's impossible not to feel the energy in this room, the positivity, the community, the humanity. We are at the precipice of an incredible shift, the brink of history. I'm not here as a celebrity. I'm not here as a politician. I'm here as a mother.
So you're here as a mother, but the main thing you want to focus on is deleting your babies. So it's kind of a weird thing. I'm here as a mom. I'm representing motherhood and children and family, but hey, delete your baby at the same time. It's so silly, but she's always been contradictory. talking about single ladies, all the single ladies, and then you get married. You sing that song with a wedding ring on. It's crazy, but that's been Beyonce throughout her whole career. And a lot of these musical performers, that's how they are. So yeah, that was Beyonce at the Kamala Harris campaign stop. That was kind of a little bit of misdirection. It should have been, from what I saw, it should have been a concert, but it wasn't. Now, a little bit of information here before we get to Joe Rogan. Eric Adams. I said before, give our good brother Eric Adams a MAGA hat. Give him the MAGA hat and just throw it on him and just let it be. So look, Mayor Adams, Eric Adams, New York City, refutes Kamala Harris, says Trump is not a fascist, as he urges Democrats to dial down the temperature. So, what's the over-under on how soon Eric Adams is going to put on the MAGA hat? You know what would be great is if he goes to the inauguration. Oh my goodness, go to the inauguration in D.C. with a MAGA hat on. That'd be fantastic, Eric Adams. Just go ahead and do it, man. Just go ahead and do it. Do that right now and make New York City great again. Do what you got to do, man, because the migrant crisis, you're spending billions of dollars, if not hundreds of billions of dollars in New York City with no help from the federales on these migrants. And the feds don't care. The feds don't care. You got to do something. Put the MAGA hat on. Somebody said 2 days. All right. Now, I'm not trying to say I'm an Eric Adams fan. Don't get it twisted. Don't try to say you love Eric Adams. Don't get it twisted. I'm saying he has an opportunity to change his direction. Okay. And he sees what they do. Remember, he came out against the migrant crisis. All of a sudden, he got himself indicted. And then Trump called it. Trump was like, okay, Eric Adams said that. He'll be indicted. He just got himself indicted. That's exactly what happened. They got him on the most ticky-tacky stuff, like some money from Turkish, but they always try to get dirt on you. That's probably part of the whole Diddy Party situation. He has dirt on certain people. So when he goes down, others are going to go down. I saw another guy that got caught up. It was an executive got caught up in some kind of ex-trafficking ring. I'm thinking that could be a Puff Daddy fallout. I don't really know, but I digress. This right here was funny. This was Trump talking about Emmanuel Macron, president of France. This was really good. And this is an example of things that a real leader does rather than a politician who is just doing whatever they're being told to do by the permanent staff in Washington, D.C., the deep state, if you will. Let's watch this. And again, shout out to Trump on Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, please, 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 don't give me no copyright. This is a special day where we got President Trump on the podcast. Check it out.
Got Macron of France. Good guy's like a friend of mine, but he's a wise guy. And he's a person that likes France, and he was going to tax our companies. I say, and I sent all the smartest guys. I sent Mnuchin, and they all failed me. And I said, I'll do it myself. And I called him. I said, Emmanuel, you're taxing American companies. We're not going to allow you to do that. Oh, Donald, I cannot do it. Nothing I could do. It's already been passed. I said, Emmanuel, if you do that, I'm going to put 100% tariff on your wines and champagnes that come into the United States, and you're going to regret that you ever did it. He said, Donald, please, that's not fair. Anyway, within about 2 minutes, he dropped the whole thing, and it was massive amounts of money against American companies. I have to protect American companies.
So why doesn't the Biden administration do this?
Because they're incompetent. They don't know how to talk.
Hey, shout out to Trump for solving that issue and also for getting the French accent. That was hilarious. But he's right on point, man. You got to do stuff like that. You got to know how to talk. You got to know how to negotiate. You just got to be someone that can be a leader. That's how that goes. All right, let's keep on going here.
Got more publicity than other people, and it wasn't like I was trying. In fact, I don't know exactly why. Maybe you can tell me why.
Oh, I could definitely tell you. You said a lot of wild shit.
Maybe.
Maybe he said a lot of wild shit. Maybe. CNN, in all their brilliance, by highlighting your wild shit, you much more popular.
Yeah.
And they boosted you in the polls because people were tired of someone talking in this bullshit, pre-prepared politician lingo. And even if they didn't agree with you, they at least knew whoever that guy is, that's him. That's really him. Yeah. When you see certain people talk, certain people in the public eye, you don't know who they are.
You don't know anything. They don't give you anything. It's just a political answer. Charlamagne did that earlier when he was asked a direct question about, well, should Kamala go on Joe Rogan? Well, just keep calling them a fascist. It's like, come on, man. Like, give me something. Don't just give me this stonewall, this political stuff. Give me a real answer. Let's have a real conversation. People don't like the political way of speaking. And the crazy part is that they get trained to speak like that to prevent from being liable for certain things, so they can't have their words twisted, or to try to prevent the words from being twisted. But the people don't like it. The people can't connect to it. So there's got to be some kind of middle ground. You can say things that's not going to incriminate yourself, but you can also speak with a certain level of sincerity and true interest in whoever you're talking to. That should be what it is. But when we don't get that from people, we crave it. And then Donald Trump happens to be the guy who's able to fulfill that need of being able to relate to somebody. Trump is a billionaire, yet he is not a polished politician whose job is to manipulate people into believing a thing that may or may not be true.
You have no idea who they are. It's very difficult to know. You see them in conversations. They have these pre-planned answers. They say everything. It's very rehearsed. You never get to the meat of it. One of the beautiful things about you is that you freeball. Like, you get out and you do these huge events and you're just talking and you're making. We've highlighted you on the show many times when you did this Biden impression where he's walking around, he doesn't know what he's doing. It's funny. It's stand up. It's funny stuff. But it's like and you were making fun of Elon one time. You were doing an Elon impression. It's great. You have like comedic instincts. Like when you said to Hillary, you'd be in jail. Like that's great timing. Yeah. But it's like that kind of stuff was unheard of as a politician. Like no one had done that. And I think...
it's funny. You need at least the attitude of a comedian when you're doing this business.
At a certain point, the politicians, they got to wake up. The old school way of trying to win elections, of not being transparent. Look, and today's day and age of long-form podcasts, of being able to record yourself on your phone, of more access to people and more of an ability to know the details of your life on an intimate level. With all that going on, you can't do the old school way of being a politician. That can't work anymore. And also, everyone knows about ballot harvesting. Everyone knows about early voting. Everyone knows about mail-in voting. Everybody knows about being a poll watcher and counting. The American people are now more informed about how the system works on a deeper level. When they're trying to be deceptive, we know how things work on a deeper level. So it's less likely that we're going to be controlled and manipulated as we were in the past.
Business. This is a very dangerous business. First of all, it's a very tough business.
It's the most dangerous business.
It's the most, for a job?
Yes. I mean, other than going to war and being a firefighter or being a cop, it's the most dangerous business.
The most dangerous.
Now, you know what? Talking about being a president is the most dangerous thing. Think about it. Out of all the presidents we had, 40-something? I'm not sure how many presidents. Is it 46 or is it just 46 terms? Y'all let me know. Because I can't remember if it's been 46 different terms or 46 presidents in total. Anyway, out of all the presidents that there have been, how many have been deleted in office? How many have been shot at? How many have been shot and lived? Didn't Reagan get shot? I think Reagan got shot, actually. He got hit. Wasn't just shot at, he was shot and hit. Trump got shot and hit. Oh, it was just his year. Okay, well, look. I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to get shot anywhere. I don't want to get shot nowhere. Whether it be my hind parts, my ear, my elbow, I don't want no bullet on me nowhere. So it is what it is. It's a dangerous job.
Being president is the most dangerous.
Especially you. I mean, you haven't even got to the election. There's been 2 assassination attempts. And they've brushed those out of the news like it was nothing.
Yeah, they'd rather not talk about them.
Imagine if there was assassination attempts on Biden, how hard people would be attacking the right.
Can you imagine if somebody tried to do something to Joe Biden? Oh, my goodness. Listen, whoever would do something like that, not only would they get smoked instantly, but their whole family would get locked up. They would get put in court, lawfare, all of that. Everything. It'd be the biggest government response in the history of time.
how they would be trying to get guns taken away from people. They would try to ramp up gun laws. They would try to figure out some way to blame you. If there was a tax on, if Biden got shot in the ear, we would have never heard the end of it.
But I think he's in good shape because it's only consequential presidents.
And that was a good part at the end. He said it's only consequential presidents, meaning the presidents who are targeted are the presidents that matter. Okay, that's all it's going to really get targeted is those are those who matter. All right. So somebody asked me to play the part about the ear.
I was.
He was a nice
once
guy.
they shot you, I was like, he's got to come in here. It's all about timing. It's all about the timing.
Timing's
I think
good.
our timing's perfect. Do you even have a scar on your ear? You got anything on there?
I do.
What do we say? What do you got
So right over here.
there? Oh, it's a tiny little
See,
mark.
it zicked right there.
Yeah. It healed up pretty fucking good.
Well, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's little. It's not like some of the wrestlers, some of the UFC fighters.
No, you didn't
It's
get
a little bit.
cauliflower ear.
No. It was sort of like a top shot.
Mm-hmm.
The point of the bullet was a
Boy.
little of the ass, but you see the thing's taken off a little bit. But it makes me a tougher guy. You know, the fighters.
You know the funny part about this, the left are trying to say that it was a conspiracy theory. He really didn't get shot. He got hit by the glass from the teleprompter. It's like, yo, somebody actually died. Somebody died at the rally. Corey Comparatori, R.I.P. Somebody died. So was that fake too? Did they fake the death? Did they fake that part? Like this innocent man dying? Come on, man. These people are crazy. The Blue Anon conspiracy theorists are ridiculous. Those people need to get some serious help. They need to get, rather than going to the penitentiary, they need to get put into a mental hospital immediately with the long white gown, the robe, all of that, the padded room, everything. When they bust their head up against the door, it could be a padded wall so they don't get too much concussed. Because we saw him get shot on TV. But that was nothing but God being on a... Listen, I can't get over how close that was. That right there, when you see certain things you can't explain, in my opinion, that is evidence of God being real, in my opinion. Everyone has their own faith. I don't want to get into no faith conversation at all because everybody has their faith and I respect it. But for me, that's one sign of it. When you see somebody get shot, like head on, but they go like that, it just do like a little dodge. Dodging the bullet is not a real thing that can happen, but it did happen here. I have never in my life seen such a thing where you're right here and the bullet go like that. I'm like, what in the world? Definitely divine intervention, Salty C, for sure. No, Bina, I didn't say QAnon. I said blue. Blue, as in this blue anon. All right, let's watch some of this here. Kamala talking about Kamala's Marxist record.
But she was to fund the police. She was to all these transgender operations. You know, if you wanted a sex change and you were in detention and you demanded a sex change, they would give you a sex change.
Well, the wildest one is this idea of giving free sex change to illegal immigrants.
That's right. In detention.
That is the wildest
But
thing.
she
Is that the biggest problem you have?
Yeah.
You just walked here from Guatemala. You need to become
That's
a girl.
right. But she was in favor of it.
Yes.
So think of it. She changed. She changed 15 policies. In fact, I'm going to send her a MAGA cap.
She stole your idea about no tax for tips.
I came up with this idea that honestly nobody ever heard of. And now it took her 2 months, but you know what? All of a sudden,
it caught fire,
and she just put it into a little speech.
Yeah,
well,
it became
but
popular.
I think we still have that issue. I think that issue is a good one for us. But she was.
So there we go. So shout out to Trump talking about what's going on with Kamala. Everybody knows it. I don't even know why you would think that's a good idea, like a sex change for an illegal alien in prison or in jail. Like, give me the logic behind that. Give me the reasoning behind that.
They want to.
Now, this is funny about California. I'm gonna get into the whole thing in a minute, which I've said before, but I'm gonna get into it again to drive it home. All right, let's check this out.
They want to go to all electric cars, but they have brownouts every weekend. You know.
Well, right after they made the announcement that as of 2035, you're not going to be able to buy an internal combustion engine in California.
Yeah.
Like within a month, they had some announcement asking people to not charge their Teslas.
Because
the grid couldn't handle it. Well, how are you
I
going to
will.
handle?
I will terminate the mandate immediately. Just a
Good,
mandate.
thank you.
That will be done, I would say, in my first day, maybe 2 days.
Now, look, the dumbest thing in the world. So California wants to ban the sale of internal combustion engine vehicles, gas-powered vehicles. So you got to buy an electric vehicle if you want a new one. That's the plan by 2035. Now, we are about to be 2025, so they want to do that in 10 years. That 10 years be here before you know it. We just did 4 years of Biden Harris. 10 years, it'll be here in the blink of an eye, just like that. And they say no more internal combustion engine vehicles in California, no more new ones. But then right after that, they said, hey, don't charge your Tesla because the grid can't handle it. Now, how are you going to try to make a larger percentage of your fleet be electric when you can't even charge the vehicles that's on the road now? How are you going to do that? It doesn't make any sense. And then you take care of the roads with gas tax, but when you're forcing everybody to get these gas-powered vehicles, guess what? You're not going to have any gas tax money, or you're going to have a gas tax fund that's dramatically reduced. So then you can't take care of the roads. Now you got to start charging a tax per mileage on the battery operated vehicle. But the whole point behind me going to the battery operated vehicle was to avoid the expense of having to go to the gas station, including the gas tax. Now you want to try to charge me a gas tax with no gas powered vehicle to take care of the roads, and EVs are 30% heavier than regular vehicles on average. So if you have more EVs on the road, that's more wear and tear for the 30% heavier vehicles. So you got to spend more money on the road, but you have less money to pay for the road because you don't have the gas tax revenue. And you are going to be struggling to charge these EVs, and don't let one catch fire and the fire spread to a forest that's real dry. Now we got a forest fire. Because that fire cannot be put out with water or nothing. It's going to keep burning until it's done. They might put one of them specialized blankets on it, but that can only do so much. So, listen, I'm not against electric vehicles as a general statement, but at the same time, I understand that the technology is not there to really just try to force the issue. If we had better technology, it wouldn't be a need to force it because everybody would want it. If I can get an electric vehicle that's safe, won't burn my house down because of the battery just having to fit, and it's less expensive. It's not going to charge me. It won't cost an arm and a leg to buy it. It's safer, has an efficient battery, quick charging. Okay, cool. But the way things are now, I'm good. I am good money. Yeah, and that's right, Faithless. It's already you already got brownouts. You already got a power problem. You can't even they can't even take care of the grid the way it is. Then they want to add more electricity, really, really big draws on electricity, these electric vehicles. It's just not really a thing that's logical.
Let me ask.
Hey, Eddie's baby, I'm right there with you. About to buy a new gas guzzler. Look, I got 2 8-cylinder vehicles. 2 8-cylinder vehicles, and I love them. Okay, I got the Mustang and the F-150 V8 Coyote 5.0. Rock solid engines. I think 2 things will survive a nuclear fallout. The F-150 Mustang, the Ford V8 Coyote engine, and roaches. Those 2 things will still be here when the bombs drop. Not when, but hypothetically if, but they're not. Okay. Anyway, let's keep on going.
Ask about nuclear. One of the things that when I've talked to people that have a real understanding of nuclear power, what their position is, it's probably the cleanest, safest form of electricity that we could generate, and that the fears of nuclear power are really about a few disasters: the Fukushima, 3 Mile Island. These are old systems, and that they're much more capable now, and they're capable of making even better systems, but it's a difficult political issue because you think nuclear power, you think Chernobyl. That's what everybody does. They have this connection in their head, the potential
or
disaster.
Fukushima, where you're not supposed to enter the land for 3,000 years or something.
It's I think it's worse than that. I think that area is like going to be radioactive for probably longer than you could imagine. But the point is they're better at it now.
Right.
And that they could do it now, and you can generate power in a way that you don't have to worry about these. One of the most ridiculous things is electric cars being powered by coal-fired plants. It's a ridiculous thing.
No, the funny thing I saw an electric station, a charging station, being powered by a gas generator. I was like, man, you got to go to Harbor Freight, get you a generator right quick to charge this thing on up.
That's what's happening.
Yeah, that is what's happening. And people want to think they're being green, but it's...
Well, you look at the way the battery is made, but here's the other thing. We don't have... Well, we do, actually. It's being held. We have certain areas where we have great raw earth material, and we're not allowed to use it because of the environment. And we have areas in California that have incredible raw earth, and they're not allowing, and I'm going to open it up. I'm going to let them use it.
But how do you do that?
China,
how do you do that and protect the environment?
Because the environment's going to be protected. You can do it. You can make a lake out of it. Okay, we'll put back a lake. I mean, something nice about lakes. You can do things magnificently.
You just have to do it carefully and responsibly.
Absolutely, you have to do it carefully. But the problem, China has all of those areas, most of those areas. And yet, when they say go electric with the cars, China is going to be the one that gives us the cars. All of those guys in Detroit are going to be out of business. You're going to make your electric cars over there. We have a thing called gasoline, and we have more oil and gas under our feet than any other nation. I had... in Alaska, there's a find. It's called Anwar. I got it approved. Reagan couldn't get it. Nobody could get it. I got it all done. It was amazing. They were getting ready to start drilling. The equivalent, they think, of Saudi Arabia, one of the biggest finds in the world. It was all set to go. And Biden comes in. One of his first orders were, we're not going to use it. It would have been so good we could have supplied all of Asia with oil and gas.
What was the negative?
And you talk about money.
Right.
The negative was politically they didn't think it was good for them. That's all.
That's all it was. So you don't think that it's environmentally dangerous?
Taking it from way down deep in the earth, environmentally would have been.
And a lot of the decisions that they make, politically motivated, but they don't help you as a person. They don't help you. They don't help the country. They don't help us really go forward. They don't. Now, there's a lot here. I got a couple more things. RFK. Let's talk about RFK right quick, because RFK is going to be a good addition to the administration, a very good addition. And his focus needs to be on the health of our nation. Definitely needs to be on the health of our nation, because that is an important thing. All right. Let me go ahead and play some of this here.
Do you have anyone that is pressuring you to not work with him? Have there been people that are reaching RFK Jr.?
Yes.
Yes, I would imagine. Because financially, he could put a dent.
I would say that, and, I think in many ways they've done a good job. In many ways they've done a bad job. But I would say that the Big Pharma wasn't thrilled when they heard that I've actually always gotten along very well with him. I've known him a long time. He's a different kind of a guy. He's very smart, great guy. And he's very sincere about this. I mean, he really is, he thinks we spend a fortune on pesticides and all this stuff, and then you end up with that chart is a terrible chart, the one previous. It's such a bad
Now, this chart says life expectancy versus health expenditure, 1970 to 2021. And the U.S. does not appear to be having a higher life expectancy. It's going a little bit higher, but the cost is just going higher and higher and higher and higher without actually improving. It's just becoming more expensive with no improvement.
Chart when you look at where we are compared to other countries that don't spend 10 cents.
Right.
So, and you save a lot of money. But, yeah, I've had some people that aren't exactly thrilled.
Do you have anyone?
So, yeah, people don't really, and the thing about RFK, they're not going to like, when I say they, I mean Big Pharma, they're not going to like RFK because RFK is exposing a lot of what goes on with Big Pharma. A lot of the poisons that we consume, not just Big Pharma, but also the food industry, all the toxic ingredients in our food supply, a lot of your processed foods, the kind of things that we eat over here are not allowed in other parts of the world. We advertise drugs on television, and it's crazy. Even and Trump was talking about it. He was like, "Look at some of these drugs." When it'd be a commercial for a drug, and that's okay. So they have the TV commercials for drugs, which only happens in the United States, and I think a little bit in New Zealand. But in the commercials at the end, they'd be like, "Could cause back pain, could cause baldness." Hold on, that was funny too. But all these crazy side effects. You might want to delete yourself, all kind of things. It's like, you know what? Maybe I'm going to just go ahead and pass. Maybe I'm going to pass on that. Okay, but that's kind of what we face. And Trump had asked if those warnings at the end or during commercials impacted sales, and yes, they do. But people still buy a lot of these drugs, and they really shouldn't be allowed to consume them. That shouldn't be what goes on. Okay, hold on. Let's keep on going. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Imagine that says Big Food, Big Pharma working hand in hand. Yeah. Because the way Big Pharma works, they will give you the antidote to the poison you get from the big food industry. And the antidote doesn't even work that well. Like a metformin, that don't work. That's not really what you want to be doing. What you should be doing is just not eating the food you ate before to prevent from being in that situation, and or not the quantity of the food that you are consuming. Because that'd be the main thing. People eat too much food, too much of the wrong thing, and now they got some kind of serious illness. All right, let's watch this.
Take a certain drug.
And then you hear all the consequences.
You say, it causes cancer and baldness. We don't like baldness.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Baldness. We don't like baldness.
Talk with you again.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna run that back. So he's talking about some of the drug commercials and how they give the disclaimer could cause heart attack, kidney failure.
Take a certain drug.
And then you hear all the consequences.
You say, it causes cancer and baldness. We don't like baldness.
Hello, darkness.
It causes cancer and baldness. We don't like baldness. And then Joe Rogan. That's what I'm saying. Look, Trump don't care. He just will speak his mind. He's not trying to be offensive. He's not trying to insult Joe Rogan. He's just saying, he's just speaking his mind, and people appreciate that. People appreciate an honest person. Let's keep on going. Oh, windmills. Windmills have got to be one of the most disruptive things in this world. Have you guys seen the wind farm like up close? Not just from afar. Hold on. I'm going to show you what windmills, what they look like from afar. How they look from afar, and then how you look up close. Because it's two different things. And also, like an abandoned windmill farm or a farm is not taken care of very well. It looks really, really gross. All right, hold on. Let me find some pictures. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay. Yeah, that's probably going to be a good picture right here. All right, so boom. You got the offshore ones, right? If you see it from far away, you got brand new mills or whatever, it doesn't look that bad. Okay? So that's one version. That's one way it could look. But then it can also look like this, where you got broken blades, missing pieces. It's just a big husk of rust in the sky. Okay, you got that going on. Then you got stuff like this. Rusted, just kind of, And same thing, same picture. Just rust buckets, missing blades. And then when they dispose of blades, they can't really dispose them. They're not biodegradable. Hold on. I'm gonna show you a windmill graveyard. A wind turbine. Hold on, here we go. These are all the blades and the turbine pieces just on the ground. Now, environmentalists, what's going on, man? Like, I thought y'all were not in favor of this kind of thing. I don't get it. It's expensive energy. It's not efficient. It harms the environment. The birds. Look, the birds that get deleted by these windmills every year is crazy. Up under the windmill is dirty. It's a lot of bird carcasses. And also with solar panels, it's the same thing. They're cooking the birds. The windmills are hitting the birds in midair, deleting them. The solar panels are cooking the birds, deleting them midair. The windmills also cause, from what Trump was saying, it also causes the whales to beach themselves because The vibration and the wind is going to interfere with their regular systems. They go crazy, and now you're going to have more beach whales. And you know what? His explanation makes sense because I've been seeing a lot more beach whales. They had a beach whale in Virginia Beach. Now, my whole life growing up out the beach, I've never heard about a beach whale just on the boardwalk chilling. And I think there was 2 whales in 1 year or something crazy like that. So what's changed since I was a little kid up until now? Maybe they have more green energy. Maybe there's more windmills, just maybe. And maybe that's causing them to go crazy, maybe get disoriented, and then they wash up on the shore. I'm just saying. But anyway, so here he is talking about that whole situation with the windmills.
I think windmills are really disruptive. When you talk about the environment, they kill the birds. You want to see a bird cemetery? Go under a windmill someday.
They're eating the birds. They're eating the ducks. They're eating the cats.
That hasn't been cleaned out with all the bird carcasses. It's like massive amounts of
Well, they're
birds.
also a massive eyesore. I went to a ranch in South Texas. We had to drive past this enormous windmill farm, and it's gross. It's dystopian. You're looking in the left and the right, and all you see is these big spinning machines that aren't even that effective at generating electricity.
Correct. Most expensive form of electricity is a windmill, and then they start to rust and rot.
And you have to
and then they
replace
get
them?
abandoned by the people that built them. Because
Well, you have to get rid of all that material, too. When you replace those blades, now you have a problem because you have
Can't
to
bury 'em.
dispose.
Yeah.
Right. You have to dispose these enormous windmills. And how
By
do
the
you
way, they
dispose
say
of
you
them?
can't bury them. So I even question that, but I'm not going to get into it. But they say you can't bury the blades. So you have the blades, and you can't bury the blades. You can bury the blades. It's not going to matter. You can bury them. You'll find areas you can bury. But they come up. This is what I mean. They come up with this. But the environmentalist dream is windmills, everyone. You know what happens to them? After 5 years, they start to rot. After 10 years, you have to replace them. Did you ever look at certain parts of California where they have heavy windmills and they've been abandoned? And they're all different manufacturers and all different companies. And they all,
I haven't seen that.
It is the ugliest thing. It looks like a graveyard almost, a graveyard of windmills.
It's pollution.
It's so bad.
It's
and in
no
the
more,
oceans.
It's no different than leaving garbage on the ground.
How about in New Jersey, off the coast of New Jersey, they want to build. The people are going crazy not to build them. But where you have them, the whales are washing up on shore.
Right.
So in 50 years, they had 1 whale come ashore. Now they had like 18 come in the last year.
What is what is happening with the whales? I've read about this.
Well, they say that the wind drives them crazy. You know, it's a vibration because you have those, those things are 50-story buildings, some of them.
Right, and they're
50.
super sensitive to vibrations
They have
and
those,
sounds.
the wind is rushing, the things are blowing, it's a vibration, and it makes noise. You know what it is? I want to be a whale psychiatrist. It drives the whales freaking crazy. And
Yes.
something happens with them. But for whatever reason, they're getting washed up on shore, and you know
what? I had never thought about that before. It didn't. I was trying to figure out what's going on with the whales because I did notice there was an uptick in that. So what he's saying makes sense. What do y'all think? You think the windmills are involved? I know we got some marine biologists in the building. Y'all let me know what you think about Trump's opinion about the windmills and their link to the whales being beached on the shore.
And yet the environmentalists
Conveniently ignored by the
but the
environmental people.
environmentalists, they don't talk about it.
Right.
I think there's nothing uglier. I see it in Scotland. I see it all over the world. You have this beautiful valley. It's been there for, in civilization, thousands of years, but millions of years. And all of a sudden you have these ugly windmills up.
So yeah, shout out to Trump. Shout out to Trump. And hey, you know what we got to do, Trump? We got to save the whales, man. We got to save the whales and make everything make whales great again. Okay. So look, Trump, we need you to go into the oceans, my man, and save the whales. That's what we're focusing on right now, man. Whales are the future. You got to go in there and do your thing, man. So shout out to Trump and shout out to the whales. Save the whales, tear down the windmills. Let's keep on going.
Do you think they knew he couldn't keep it together?
I think
Do you
so.
think that they wanted that? Is that why, like, historically, that debate was earlier than they've been in the past, right?
I think they wanted to get, well, there's a lot of theories. A lot of people said, do the debate now and we'll get him out.
Right.
I think that maybe could be.
Well, that is what happened.
But
so
that's what happened.
It's logical
I think they
to
also
assume that
said,
that's what
do
they
the
wanted.
debate now and get it over with.
Right.
I don't think anybody thought he was going to get out, really. I don't
didn't
think
make
that-
any sense.
The debate got him out, but I think it's very unfair. Look, you have a bad debate. His numbers went down, but I think she's not doing very well right now.
Do you think they knew he couldn't?
So that's them talking about the debate happening early with Joe. They knew that they were going to do what they did. It was just a matter of them executing it. That's all. And then 8-Bit Only says there are wind patterns for a reason. Hold on. There are wind patterns for a reason, like how the Santa Ana winds are seasonal, but windmills are there and you disrupt the natural order. Yeah, that makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Vince says construction beginning on coastal Virginia offshore wind, CVOW, the largest offshore wind project in the United States. There we go. And that's why we got whales on the Virginia Beach oceanfront. I grew up on the beach. I've been going to the beach every year since I've been, I lived right there when I was a kid. Norfolk, Virginia Beach is right there. So that's like our backyard. I never in my life turned away TV 10 News and saw a beach on the shore up until recently. And having a big wind farm off the shore makes sense why we got the whales now. I never in my life seen that before. Let's keep on going here.
Mail-in ballots are a problem.
But every
Another
other country,
problem is
other
voter
countries,
ID.
Yeah, a voter ID.
Voter ID is the most bizarre argument that
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody articulate in a way that's convincing.
Because
why
they
you
wanna
don't
cheat.
need voter. Well, it doesn't make sense any other way. I've tried to straw man it, or I've tried to steel man it rather. I've tried to look at it from a position like, why would you not want people to have ID? And a lot of the ideas are just ridiculous. You
Gavin
need an
Newsom.
ID to get a driver's license.
Okay, but here's now the next step. Gavin Newsom, one of the worst governors in the world.
Gavin Newsom. That right there is one of the best nicknames he's had. Little Marco, Lion Ted, but Gavin Newsom, perfect.
And I used to get along, but I don't get along with him now because he's just too, it's just a whole con job. But Gavin Newsom, the other day signed a bill that you are not allowed to ask a person, even ask them whether or not they have voter ID.
Now, what could be
If
a
you
charitable reason why anybody
because they
would
want
want
to cheat.
that? But
Because
that
they
would be
wanna
the
cheat.
only thing that makes sense.
But that's taking it to the next level.
Right.
Now, you have ID. The Democrat National Convention, when they had it the last time, I saw, they had a sign like a billboard on the name of the person, where they live, how they live, who the hell their boyfriends are. Every single, and a big picture. That's for they have an ID, a big ID. It was hanging like you were a prisoner. They had these massive cards, everything. And yet when it comes to the vote, in theory, the most important thing we do, okay, when you go to a grocery store, you give ID. But for a vote, it's supposed to be a sacred thing, and it should be a sacred thing. No voter ID because they want to cheat.
Well, it doesn't make sense in any other way. I've tried to look at it.
There's no other way.
There's no argument that anybody's presented that makes any sense why.
You know the funny thing, Joe? The Democrats, the people, they all think you should have it. In other words, you should have voting. If you go to the people, Mrs. Schwartz, Mrs. Smith, Mr. and Mrs. Jones.
Sure.
They say, of course, yeah. Democrats, they say yes. It's the politicians that don't want it, like Schumer and these guys, they don't want it because they want to be able to cheat. Because you know what? If they didn't have it, okay, who is going to vote for somebody that wants open borders? Who's going to vote for somebody that wants to have men playing in women's sports? I have never had one person come up to me and say, President, you got to do something to allow men to play in women's sports. Have you ever? Just like I've never been called by a pollster. I told you my little theory on pollsters, okay? I'm getting myself in trouble with some of these things, but I don't really care.
Now, before he continues, I wanted to show you. I was showing it a little bit. See, look, what he was saying earlier as far as like this whole big thing they had. These are DNC 2024 pictures, okay? So you can see you got this big lanyard, and that looks like from right here, maybe that's a 8x5, 8x4 sheet of paper. It might even be bigger than that. And it's a crazy bezel on the actual laminated part on the lanyard. It's like an inch bezel. It's like for what? But that might be like an 8x4. That's humongous for something that's on a lanyard. Okay, it's got all kind of stuff on it. And then I think you can see it a little bit clearer with other people. Okay, this guy has on something, VIP, Chicago. This guy has some kind of map. I don't know what this is. They got these really big, like, prisoner tags on. But when it comes to voting, an ID is racist. Make it make sense.
Nobody's ever come up to me and said, we want to have men playing women's sports. And, you know, I had a funny thing. At a property I own in California, I have a woman who's a very good athlete, and she works there as a manager. And Brian Urlacher, the big Chicago Bears, great player, you know, 10-time All-Star, I guess Hall of Fame, a great guy, big, strong guy. And she said, oh, he's one of my favorite athletes. Can I have a picture? And I took a picture and I sent it. And I noticed she was the size of his leg. His leg was bigger than she was. And I put it out. Should men play in women's sport? It was just so ridiculous.
Yeah. And the whole thing, men and women's sports, that's got to be the dumbest thing in the world. The absolute dumbest thing in the world. But the voter ID, listen, where I live, we got ID, paper ballots, in person, we good. I already voted early in Tennessee. In person, paper ballot, ID. No fuss, no muss. Easy, in and out, straight to the point, no problems. That's the way it should be nationwide. And paper ballots. The technology that take forever to vote, and one thing Trump said in this is that paper ballots are cheaper, like 8% of the cost of having this big computerized thing. And they're more efficient and easier to count because it's sheets of paper, literally. You could physically count it by your hand. They got the automatic counter, like a money counter. You could just put the paper in there, it'll count it, tabulate everything. If there's a question, if there's a concern, just go through the ballots and count them. It's a simple process. When you're dealing with some of these machines, it's problems and glitches, and we might not know for 2 weeks who actually won. Paper ballots, it's done that night. It's cheaper. It's easy. But when you're dealing with the machines, that's an easier way to get in there and manipulate things. So in your state, again, because all these elections are state, please, please, please lobby your state to get paper ballots and voter ID. That is the only way forward. We have that here in Tennessee, so my vote is good. I'm already voted. Trump 24 and everybody else down ballot. Shout out to Todd Gottenheimer. Shout out to everybody that I voted for in this area. All right. Let's keep on rocking here. I got super chats in a minute, Apu. I got you. I promise I do. Shout out to you, Apu. I appreciate you, man.
There's a lot of interest in it.
One of the things that
There's a lot of interest in the people coming from space, you know.
Yes.
And I know you're interested in that.
Oh, very interested in that. How much did they tell you about that?
A lot.
Really?
Yeah.
What did they tell you? How much can you tell?
So
How's that work? Is it like super
top
secret?
I can tell, you know.
Tell me.
Well, based on Hunter Biden, I can say whatever the hell I want, right? But no. But I interviewed a few people. It's never been my thing, I have to be honest. I have never been a believer. I have people that Area 51 or whatever it is. I think it's the #1 tourist attraction in the whole country or something. Area 51 in Las Vegas. Do you know that, right?
Sure. I know what it is.
So anyway, but it's a big tourist thing. So I interviewed jet pilots that say they saw something. If you saw them, you'd love to have them as
I've had a couple in here. Commander David Fravor.
Yeah.
I had him in, who had that sighting in 2004. Very compelling with video evidence, radar evidence. Ryan Graves.
I don't believe his name, but I interviewed jet pilots that were solid people. Perfect. I mean, great pilots, great everything. And they said, we saw things, sir, that were very strange. Like a round ball, but it wasn't a comet or a meteor. It was something. And it was going 4 times faster than an F-22, which is a very fast plane, you know. And it was round, which is, in theory, a great shape.
So when you were talking to these people, was this something that you were compelled to have conversations about? Was this your personal interest?
No, a little bit. It's not a great interest for me, but it's a little interest. I get that question as much as almost any question. Do you think that we have aliens coming, you know, flying around or whatever?
What do you think?
Now, before he answers, what do y'all think? I see alien spaceship. Shout out to you, alien spaceship. What do you guys think? Are we alone? Are there aliens? Like, what's going on? I think there's something out there. I don't think it's just us. And the thing about it is, I don't think we're necessarily going to be able to recognize alien life forms if we saw it all the time. Because, you know, the little green men that's one thing. But what if there was a different type of plant life that just happened upon the earth one day? They discover new things every day, new species of plant life. What if that happened and that was introduced here to change certain things about our environment? How would you know that that was alien or not? And the technology they're going to have is going to be light years beyond what we can understand. We're not going to know it. So they're talking about these spheres that fly and defy all the laws of physics. You see that right there? You're not going to be. If the sphere defies laws of physics, then the laws that we know can't be true. There needs to be more. So we're not really on that level of knowledge yet. They are a more advanced entity, a more advanced group. So for us to see that technology in person, if we would see that, it'd be like God coming back. It'd be like Jesus coming back, because we wouldn't be able to rationalize it any other way, in my opinion.
There's no reason not to. I mean, there's no reason not to think that Mars and all these planets don't have life, because
Mars, we've had probes there and rovers, and I don't think there's any life there.
Well, maybe it's life that we don't know, but maybe
there was life there at one point in time. This is the speculation about Mars, that Mars had an atmosphere at one point in time, a long time ago, that could support life. It also had large bodies of water, but we've had no evidence of even bacterial life that exists on Mars. But the universe is pretty vast. It's not been a big thing
for me. I mean, when I looked at what China did to this, they would have never done it with me, where they put the balloon up, and a lot of people thought for a little while that was one of these things. So,
that's a lot of the speculation too, that some of these drones that hover over battleships, that these are Chinese drones, and that they're not UFOs.
They could be also.
There's some super sophisticated.
But I did interview, let's say 3 or 4 guys and without tremendous interest, if you had them, as I said, you'd love to have them as your children. Solid, beautiful people. They said, "Sir, there's something there."
There's something there.
They've said it, yeah.
Yeah, I've talked to quite a few of
them.
They're
not conspiracy guys.
Well, I mean, just the Commander David Fravor thing in 2004 off the coast of San Diego, they clocked that thing going from 50,000 feet above sea level to 50 in a second.
Yeah.
They don't know what it is.
That's tough to beat.
Yeah, they saw something in the water. It was hovering over that something that was making a disturbance in the water. They got video evidence of this thing, 2 different fighter jets with pilots in them.
Now, somebody said that there's definite life on Mars and there's been evidence. Yeah, of course. There was clearly life on Mars. There was clearly civilization on Mars. That's clear. Now, I don't know how they got that whole planet completely clean like that. Like, how long ago was there life on Mars? And where is all the evidence? Well, there's some things that they left, but where's all the structures, buildings, and everything just go back to the earth, disintegrate? Was there a war? I wonder what happened to Mars at the end. What caused the life to leave, and how long did it take for that whole process to happen?
Saw it. There's, visual evidence, photographic evidence, video evidence, radar evidence. Whatever the hell it is, it moves in a way that would turn a human being into jello if you're inside of it. The G-force, no one would survive.
Oh,
so what is that? And it doesn't have a heat signature. They don't know what their propulsion system was. But
when you fly in some of these jets, these pilots have to be in great shape.
Oh, yeah. I flew with the Blue Angels once.
Yeah.
I got to fly. I guess it's an FA-18.
And those are older machines.
And they're crazy.
When you fly in some of these things,
oh my God,
amazing. Yeah, but
I can imagine.
You got to be special.
But these things that these people are encountering are far superior to what we know of.
Yeah.
Is it possible that there's some military or government program that you weren't, that they didn't tell you about?
I think I had a great relationship with the military, basically, but I didn't like certain people. I would have gotten them out if I thought if the election was different, I would have fired all of them quickly. Most of them I did fire.
So yeah, shout out to Trump. I think there's definitely going to be some kind of disclosure coming up about aliens, and we're going to know more. But yeah, shout out to the Joe Rogan podcast. This was a great thing to have Trump on there. Again, 3 hours, long conversation. But watching it, I watched the entire thing, which is not necessarily very common for something that long. I don't got that kind of time, but I watched the entire thing. I watched it over 2 days. I watched some last night, and then I watched some today. And what I discovered is that it wasn't difficult to listen to. it was a pretty easygoing conversation. Not in the way that there was no tough questions. There was no questions that I think what Joe did, some may try to say that it was softball. Some may try to say. And the reason why is because Joe wasn't aggressive. Joe was neutral. He was not just kissing his hind parts. At the same time, he wasn't being aggressive. He was just being right in the middle and asking questions that were important. Aliens, that was a good one. The border, that's a good one. The things, the economy, Kamala, these are things people care about. So he was asking those questions. So yeah, shout out to you guys. All right, but I loved it. Yeah, Lori Blythe says the interview was like sitting talking to your friend. Exactly, 100%. Yes, big dude. Somebody's having the conversation. Cinderella Charlamagne, you don't like Joe. He got a bad mouth. He got a big mouth. Joe, at this point, he don't know what he's talking about anymore. This guy's about Joe Biden is way beyond the expiration date. If you go in that cabinet and you see some Vienna sausages and it says expired 2/5/1998 and you still eat that, that's the equivalent of listening to Joe Biden. He's way past the expiration date, so you're not really going to get a good result out of opening the container of the package. Okay, it's not going to be good. That smell going to be crucial. But anyway, I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And you know for certain, Kamala could never speak for that long, nor could she hold a conversation, because Kamala, when she's asked questions, she don't answer the question. That's frustrating. If I'm talking to somebody and I'm asking them a question and they don't answer it and they do that repeatedly, it's like, okay, what are we doing here? Are we having a conversation or not? So Kamala couldn't do it. No way. He could not do it. But we got super chats on deck, Apu. So shout out to you. Super chats on deck. Then we're going to get to the calls. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. The number will always be in the description below the video. Also, it'll be right here at a certain point. There it is. Perfect timing. 434-658-1220. I'm going to open the lines up in a minute. Let's read super chats first. Thank you to Smooth Artist who said, shout out to cousin ABL. Thank you to Phoenix 602 who says she's a liar and needs to sit down. Thank you to Apple again who says Bill Maher got schooled by Megyn Kelly last night. I think I did see that. Hold on. I think I did see. I did see that come across. But I didn't. Yeah, I favorited it. I got a little bit, so I can play it right now. It's like a minute.
Almost equally important, maybe as important, is what we're doing to our children with this trans insanity. I mean, this is almost my single issue. We are chopping off the healthy body parts of young children without 100%. We are doing that.
Well, we are definitely doing that.
Without any inquisition.
That's what it is. So
into
I don't know
what's
what
happening.
the oohing is about.
I don't either. Pay attention, because I'm about to give you a truth bomb. Kids who are suffering from bullying or who have been sexually assaulted or who are going through normal puberty and feel uncomfortable in their bodies will say to their parents, I'm not sure, maybe I'm gender confused. They will send them into a psychiatrist or psychologist who are told by our organizations, the American Psychiatry Association, and all the others that run their licensing, you must affirm. Affirm is the only standard. And so the child gets told, you're right, you are secretly a boy.
Now, the thing is, here's my thing before we continue into this. If someone is an adult and they want to do whatever they want to themselves, that's their prerogative. If you're an adult and you think that you are actually a giraffe and you want to get a giraffe neck lengthening surgery, then go ahead. I don't know what type of grapes and bananas and leaves you're going to be eating from 15 foot in the tree. But look, that's not my business. However, I think the line should be drawn when we're talking about children. Okay? I don't think you should be 12 years old, Dwayne Wade, son. I don't think you should be 12 years old being allowed to be a transgender. As an adult, do what you want to do. But as a kid, How about this? How about I got a novel idea, right? Maybe my idea is controversial and it might get me canceled, but hear me out. If you're a child, you should grow up without all these life-changing surgeries and drugs because you think you're a different gender. Rather than doing that, just grow up, go through puberty, go through life as normal kids do, through all the awkwardness and confusion and the acne and everything else. Trying to talk to a girl for the first time, trying to talk to a boy for the first time, live a normal life as a kid. And then when you get to be an adult, you can decide what you want to do at that point. But there's a reason why we have adulthood and childhood. These two things aren't the same. Now, when those lines get blurred, that's when we got something else going on, okay? And I don't got to spell it out. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And that's exactly what's happening right now, where you got these full-grown men looking like plumbers and whatnot. Okay, you got these guys trying to go into women's bathrooms. You already know what the play is. You already know. We've already had women be assaulted in the bathroom by these guys who claim to be some kind of other gender in the bathroom. We've already had it happen. So let's not have that happen. And let's not have children be caught up in this mix. Leave the kids alone. How about that?
Or vice versa. And the child gets put on puberty blockers, into cross-sex hormones, which sterilize a child and deprive the child of any chance of sexual pleasure for the rest of his or her life. We're talking about 9, 10, 11-year-olds who cannot give informed consent. Then they have body parts chopped off by a medical establishment and by parents who mean well but believe in these doctors, and they shouldn't. And when they inevitably get past the awkwardness of puberty or what have you, and they want to turn around and detransition, those who love bomb them on Reddit saying, come on in, the water's fine, abandon them. They are depressed. They have changed their bodies forever in a way that is irreversible. And we are all sitting back saying, it's a remote issue, as Kamala Harris said. It's not remote. It's the issue of our time, both with respect to children and women's rights.
Megyn Kelly, shout out to her. All right, Megyn Kelly. One of my favorites. Shout out to her. Nothing but facts there. Nothing but facts. Yeah, and then, they complain about the birth rate being low. That's why they got to bring in the migrants, but they are doing the exact thing that will continue to further plummet the birth rate, because these people, these children, once they get mutilated like that, they're not going to be able to produce any kind of children. They're not going to have any kind of offspring themselves. So you're just further decreasing the birth rate of Americans. It's like they're trying to delete us. They bring it in the criminal gangs, so we got to go fight them in the street. And then you want to sterilize our children so they can't produce any children when they get to be adults. It's a mess. But yeah, thank you to Apu for that one. Let's keep on going here. Shout out to Apu again, who says, please pray for the J6ers in prison. They are denied their rights. They're tortured by the guards and put into solitary. Hope Trump pardons them all. Thank you to Justin Cameron, who says, Master Roshi would steal a woman's clothes too. He would. Yep. Shout out Master Roshi. Thank you to Smooth Artist, who says, I don't trust this man in the men's restroom. Neither do I. Thank you to Tomatoes, who says, ABL, did you hear about the docs giving a speech at a Kamala rally ignoring the medical emergency in the crowd? Not one of them budged. True colors shown. I did not hear about that, but I'm not surprised at all. And it was weird because they said that Trump was the weird one for playing music during a medical emergency at one of his rallies. But then you got doctors on stage. It could be a person right in front of them, choking, right? About to go ahead and just pass away right in front of them. And they're like, orange man bad, all this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah. It's like, all right, Dr. Kevorkian, there's somebody right in front of you that's about to croak. Do you want to do anything? Trump's a fascist. These people, man, I tell you, they're terrible. Real terrible. Shout out to Keyshawn White, who says they want a puppet in the White House. Trump is a threat to the narrative they sell. Jobs are on the line. Thank God for social media. 100%. Thank you to Ryan Henderson, who says, I prove with the swipe of my stylist that I can vote for somebody better than this doofus, Kamala. Shout out to Ryan Henderson again, who says anything that passed through her mind goes through her ears. Sorry, Miss Side Chick. Thank you to Smooth Artist, who says deport our Karens and illegals. Shout out to Apu again, who says no side chicks. How about side chefs? Are they allowed? Asking for a friend. Also, is it homophobic to order a hit on your ex-gay lover? Just wondering. Hey, you're getting a little bit too close to the truth now. We're talking about no chefs that mysteriously lost her life at Martha's Vineyard. Don't be worried about that. Don't be worried about this young, strapping, handsome black dude hanging out with the Obamas. And we know how Obama himself gets down, allegedly. Okay, don't be talking about that now. Thank you to, I got quite a few, actually. Thank you to Apu again, who says that woman should know that Jesus can heal her from abortion. Rachel's Vineyard and Silent No More Awareness, specializing in counseling post-abortives. Thank you to Apu again, who says removing fetus from ectopic pregnancy, not abortion. Also, ABL's opinion on eye doctor. I hate that puff air test. I've not been to the eye doctor in a long time. I know my prescription. All they're going to do is just give you the same test and see if you need stronger prescriptions. But I'm good at this. I'm kind of old, so I know what is going on, so I'm good. I might go every now and again, but it's not like when I was a kid when I had to go a lot. Now I go every now and again. But that's kind of a racket too, because when you go to the eye doctor, a lot of times they try to get you to, so you get your eye exam at the optometrist and you get your frames right there in the same place, and they bang you in the head for these cheapo frames that break my skin out. These right here, hypoallergenic, like these glasses, I got them not because I'm trying to be super fashionable. I'm not trying to be looking like Mark Cuban. I don't want to look like a Portland lesbian, okay? I'm not trying to have that kind of look going on with my glasses. But number one, I got a really big head, so they gotta fit and not be squeezing my temples like I'm about to pass out. And number two, they need to be these kind of plastic frames that have hypoallergenic elements, so the plastic doesn't cut into my face. And sometimes the cheap metal will do the same thing because the acid in my skin will eat at the metal and cause me to get injuries up under my glasses. But these don't do that. That's the reason why I wear them, not because I'm trying to be looking like Mark Cuban, Rachel Maddow, and everybody else. Spike Lee, all these nut jobs. Anyway, think of the Ryan Henderson who says, will they please stop elder abuse? They should. They need to. Thank you to Tom Walsh who says, did you vote already? LMNOP, I voted Trump, Royce, White, and Minnesota today. My wife and I love you. Keep rocking and rolling. Thank you for your very kind words. Yes, I did vote early, in person, President Donald J. Trump all day. Thank you to Apple again, who says Dr. Johanna Olsen Kennedy, the lead researcher on a $6 million NIH study, blocked its publication after failing to find evidence that puberty blockers improve the mental health of children. Democrats lie. Thank you to Apple again, who says Democrat DOJ spies on innocents, SWAT raid, and meemaws. Also, Democrat DOJ colludes with big tech to censor info. Also, hey, Charlamagne, projection just isn't the movies. Also, Ryan Henderson says, I read that all the way wrong. Hey, Charlamagne, projection just it ain't the movies. I got it. I think it's Ryan Henderson who says Kamala made a lot of mistakes. The first one, waking up this morning. Oh, well, let me eat some more word salad. Apple again says, you see that sister speak truth to Brandon Johnson. No, I didn't. I got to check it out. Also, by the way, Charlamagne, Kamala ain't black. Think it is Schizo who says Angela Rye is paid by the Democratic Party. She has no job skills. She is told what to say and do. Correct. 100%. Ain't nothing but a foot soldier. And the foot soldiers think that they're doing a valiant service for the American people, and they are bolstering their own income and supporting their career. But as soon as they're no longer needed, they're going to get thrown straight to the wolves. And other non-PC societies, they would just get deleted, and that'd be the end of that. Thank you to Brian Henderson who says, Kamala make America smaller, vote for me. Thank you to It's Lanita who says, men with appropriate T levels aren't checking for you, nor are they in the building. Cop Mala, shrug. Exactly. Thank you to Laura Catherine for the cool emoji. I appreciate you for that. Thank you to JC who says, Buckwheat also got shot. Thank you to Laura Catherine who says, God spared President Trump because he was made for such a time as this. Thank you to Babo Yogi who says, 98 of EVs are still on the road. 2% made it home. Thank you to Ryan Walker who says, Moby Dick for Trump. Shout out to the whales. Thank you to Marta Allen for becoming a member. Thank you to Denise who says, great channel. Thank you for your very kind words. Thank you to Sean D, who says, AB, I've been watching for years, bro. Mad respect for what you do. I just want to make Wales great again 2024. Thank you for your very kind words, boss. Thank you to Laura Catherine, who says, ABO, do you think that we will know the results of the election the day after or November the 6th? I think we'll know after, like soon after, not days. I think we'll know pretty much that night when we're going to be up. Thank you to Bob K. MIT, who says, would still love to see a B. Tatum, ABL, Jericho Green collab. Thank you to Slenderella Charlamagne for the dancing emoji. I appreciate you for that. Thank you to Hail Mary, who says, do you think Kamala could sit for 2.5 hours and discuss windmills and wrestling or boxing or whatever it is? She's not very knowledgeable about many things. No, she's not going to talk about too much of anything. She has a limited life, a limited worldview, limited life experiences. So there's not much she could talk about. You're talking about a shallow person. So all she can really say is what she was prepared to say. She couldn't have even gone to McDonald's and done that because she doesn't have any people skills. It's been a consistent thing with her. Her staff has been leaving, high turnover rate, because they don't like her. She's not good with people. So if your own staff doesn't like you, then how are you going to be able to go on a podcast and talk for 2.5 hours, 3 hours about anything that people are going to like and want to listen to? It's just not going to work out. So, yeah, I don't really see her performing very well on the Joe Rogan podcast, but I say still go in there. Why not? Why not? All right. There's no way she could do this. I've been here for 2.5 hours right now talking continuously. There's no way she could do this right now. Now I'm doing this twice a week. I could do it every day if I had the time. I'm doing it twice a week. I could do it every day. She would have to go through so much training and she's just not. Listen, not everybody can do this. Not everyone can sit here and just talk. It's not a thing that everybody can do. It's not for everybody. But if you want to be the president, I need you to have the gift of gab. I need you to be good with people. I need you to be good with just your attitude and your general disposition. If you can't do that, then go do something else. This job is not for you. That's just my humble opinion, though. Even the ones that I don't respect, like Barack Obama, Slick Willie, they had people skills. They know how to communicate. They knew how to talk. I don't like them at all, but they could at least do that. I don't like Kamala, and she has no skills the way they had. So it's a mess. Okay. Now, somebody asked me about my plaque. So I got an appointment on Monday. I almost forgot about that. I got an appointment on Monday with my channel rep, like a virtual meeting. So I have no other complaints. I'm not worried about how to get more viewers. I'm not worried about nothing. I know what I'm doing. All I need from them is, hey, can I get my gold plaque or no? I'm well above 1 million. All right. I done seen guys with over 1 million subs, but less subs than I have with a gold plaque. Like, hey, I got my gold plaque. Where's yours? I don't know. Anyway, I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Let's get to the calls. 434-658-1220. I know I'm a little bit late, but it's not my fault. Blame the white man. Y'all know how I go. Y'all know how it goes. Yeah, we got to get that gold play button. So my appointment on Monday, I'm going to talk to the lady. All I'm going to ask her is like, okay, thank you for taking the call. I don't need any assistance on my channel. I don't need any help that way. What I need you to do right now is give me that gold plaque. What we going to do? Send that to my P.O. box immediately, because it's not just about me. It's about all of us. You guys who have been here for a long time. You've been there for the first time. You watch occasionally. You kind of be dipping and dabbing. This is your plaque as well. So when I unbox it, it's for all of us, not just for me. And I'm going to unbox it live on the show, on the stream. It won't be a dedicated thing. It'll be just a regular stream like how I normally do. But I'm going to say if I have it, I'm going to unbox it live within the first few minutes. All right. Let's keep on going here. Let me get my sound together. Y'all please pardon me. All right, there we go. I'm about to say, like, what's going on? There we go. Let's go ahead and get into it. The number to call, 434-658-1220. 470, you're on the line. Who's speaking to?
So whether you love me or hate me, you got to vote for me. ABL, hey, it's Greg from Wild and Wacky Atlanta. Where are you thinking of having it anytime? How are you?
I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Great, man. I saw Trump for the first time this past Wednesday in Duluth. It was incredible.
I saw that rally. I wish I was there, but it looked like an amazing time.
Yeah, it was. I don't know how many people were there. I'm guessing 15, 20,000. I don't know how many people couldn't get inside, but I was lucky I got inside. I got there just before 3 o'clock. Had no problem parking in the parking deck. Parking was free, and there was just so much love there. All the vendors were out there having a fun time, selling water and hats and T-shirts to people that were waiting in line. The line snaked back and forth. I would estimate at least 1.5 miles. If we can even get inside. So you had to go to the metal detectors, of course. We don't want any funny stuff going on. But it's great. The speakers were great. Benny Johnson was there, and Dr. Ben Carson, and RFK was there. He was good. They're all good, So, yeah, man, I've just been campaigning for Trump the past 7.5, 8 weeks. Been door knocking and talking to a bunch of people here in Atlanta, trying to drum support for President Trump in Buckhead and also in South Sandy Springs. So, we're looking really good, and I feel very confident about it. What do you think?
I think that Georgia's going to be for Trump. People have seen what has gone on under the current administration. They don't like it. And there was already a big Trump base in the state, so I think that'll push it over the top.
Yeah. And if anybody wants to volunteer for Trump, you can. Just go to TrumpForce47.com. There's still time. So we still have, 10 days for the election. So you might be able to get out there and do something for the elections here. It's going to be here before you know it. And I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to it. I think don't be able to steal this one from us. So we'll have the virus to hide behind. So to use as a cover to steal. So anyway, that's all I want to say. Thank you very much for taking my call. Best wishes to you. And this one to say I'm still Ultra MAGA, America First, Trump 2024.
Thanks for the call. Definitely appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great night. See you. Bye.
All right. Great call. Shout out to my man for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And again, the number to call, 434-658-1220. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. All right, Victor, what's going on?
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
No problem.
Yeah, man. I only heard about the first hour of Donald Trump interview with Joe Rogan. That was amazing. Just that first hour.
It was fantastic. Like the entire thing, it was just really good. It was a free-flowing conversation. It didn't feel forced. It didn't feel phony. It was a breath of fresh air to hear from a politician to be so open and candid like that. I really, really liked the interview.
Yeah, I agree with you how you can learn a lot from that interview. Something that's similar to that is his interview with Theo Bond. Have you seen that interview before?
I've not seen that full one. I've just seen clips from that one.
Yeah, I saw that one. And the one thing I learned, which is another Kamala Harris line, is the $35 insulin cap. The Kamala Harris talked about how it was the Biden-Harris administration ideal to have that $35 insulin cap when Donald Trump already had that cap back in. He put that cap in 2020. What's the crazy thing about it is that CNN did a fact check on Donald Trump, saying that Donald Trump lied, saying that it was his ideal, when they actually proved that it was his ideal.
I mean, it's crazy how they do stuff like that and think that nobody's going to find out.
Yeah. And what's so crazy that they said in that CNN fact check that Donald Trump lied about the Kamala Harris $35 insulin cap. It is true that Donald Trump did make that $35 insulin cap, but it was voluntary. Wait, hang on. If you say it's true, then that means that Kamala Harris is lying and it wasn't her ideal at all.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. The last thing I want to talk about is the Beyonce, the Harris rally with Beyonce. Not really with that rally, but what was said in that rally when talking about the abortion, the part where they said about the part with Ryan Hamilton's story about his wife having a miscarriage and the doctors wouldn't treat him because of this vague abortion bill in Texas. I read into that story. First, I want to say I'm sorry for his loss of his second child, but there was no confusion in that law at all. What they were talking about is the Senate Bill 8, the heartbeat bill. Behind Ryan Hamilton's story is that his wife had a miscarriage. At first, there was a heartbeat, but in the 13th week of gestation, there was a miscarriage and there was no no more heartbeat. And the doctor knew that there was no heartbeat. Yet, though, the doctors gave her the basic abortion pill to get rid of the miscarriage, but she had complications. They took her to the hospital, and the doctors did not do anything to help her. But Ryan Hamilton is blaming the abortion bill to say that the reason why she didn't get help. That's not the problem of the abortion bill. That is the problem of the doctors. The doctors neglected her medical issues. It wasn't the bill at all. I'm sorry for her loss, but you really have to stop that, because the bill is very clear where it says on page 4 that if there is no heartbeat, then there is no abortion. Reason why there is no abortion, because the baby's already dead at that point. Abortion is you're actively stopping a biological development. That's it. And people need to stop lying. And people like Kamala Harris need to stop lying about these bills, because they are very clear.
Right, exactly. But they always tell lies, because that's the only way they can get people to vote for them, get people to believe in them. Just got to tell a bunch of fake stories.
Yeah. Anyway, I just had to get that off my chest. Have a good night.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye.
All right. Great call. That's a good point he made there about the whole, about everything, man. They just lie so much. They just lie. But then they say the other side lies all the time. 818, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. This is 8-bit only. Sorry, forgive me. Sometimes I still get nervous every time I call in. But there's two things I wanted to talk about. And one was you were talking about the windmills earlier. A lot of people also don't think about not just the wind patterns, but that like pollination when it comes to like different plants or bugs or animals. Even when it comes to like the migrations of butterflies, like people talk about monarch butterflies being coming close to being extinct. There's a lot of animals that follow migrations on wind patterns and everything else. And it's amazing that they don't even consider those, or they're not in studies when it comes to that. And, I think that a lot of these, even solar farms, the amount of land that it takes is massive. And if you can think about the amount of disruption it does on the natural habitat is just immense. But that's one thing I wanted to point out and talk about. And the other thing too was that you were talking about Trump with the interview with Joe Rogan, and then like trans people in sports. Now, the one thing is my wife, she's from Thailand, and you're talking about the biggest ladyboy capital of the world. I have trouble respecting trans people here in the United States because of the fact that you'll have a man with a bearded shadow with his twigs and berries demanding to be called ma'am, and they want to be respected as that. But when you go to Thailand, I always joke about it because every time I go there, it's like if you see the most beautiful woman you ever laid your eyes on,
it's a man.
You gotta be careful. It's most likely a man. I've seen it. Oh my God, have I seen it? And you know, but the thing is, though, they're very, very straightforward about it. They will tell you that they're trans. And on top of that, and I will tell you right now, you can look this up. You can Google it, show it there. You know, like when it comes to here in the United States, that these trans people want to be put into, you know, the beauty pageants for all women and stuff like that. But they actually have, in Thailand, they have separate divisions. So like for your beauty pageants in Thailand for trans people, it's actually called Miss Tiffany. You can look it up, Google it, everything. It's called Miss Tiffany. And when you see the pictures, you're going to be like, oh my God, that was a man. I'm not even kidding you. But that is one of the things, though, that always bothers me here in the United States, is that you have a man with a 5 o'clock shadow that demands to be called ma'am versus someone you go to Thailand who actually acts feminine, had a full surgery. And look, I don't condone it. I disagree with it, but you know, if that's what their lifestyle is, I'm not going to argue with them and be like, hey, you do you, I do me. As long as we have that respectful, you know, line of delimitation, we're good.
I'm the same. Yeah. I feel the same way. It's like, look, man, whatever you want to do, look, that's your personal business. You could do that over there. I'm just, but don't try to have me be part of it. Don't try to like weasel your way into places where you shouldn't be going, and don't try to act like you are a woman. No, you dress a certain way, live a certain way, but at the end of the day, you're biological male. That's just the reality of the situation.
100%. And yeah, those are just the two things I wanted to point out there. You know, other than that, you know, I'm done for that, and I appreciate you, ABL. And, you know, thank you again for everything you do.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. All right. Shout out to the caller, my man, 8-Bit Oni. Shout out to him. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. Let's go to, all right, the phone lines are jumping. Y'all please hang tight. Let's go 803. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Eric Highsmith.
All righty. What's going on?
Hey, I just wanted to say I appreciate you doing your show, and I wanted to give you a thank you and keep up the good work you're doing. That's all.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Shout out to my man for the call. Shout out to him. All right. I appreciate the love all the time. Let's go to 469. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL.
Yes, indeed.
Oh shit! I got through. That's cool. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
Are you on speaker? It's kind of hard to hear you.
There we go.
All righty. What's going on?
Is that better?
Yes.
I just had a question about when you voted on your ballot, how many different people were there to vote for on the ballot besides president?
Well, in my area, you had the president. Wait, I mean, okay. Do you mean how many people as far as other
different positions?
Oh, different.
Yes,
okay, yeah. So it probably was about, I want to say 3 positions, and then there was, it was a measure on there about alcohol sales in the county, but that was it.
Like a policy thing that they were going to implement in your area?
The vote was whether they're going to ban alcohol in Hamilton County or not. Or they were going to ban it from sale. I forget exactly what it was. But it was something about alcohol in Hamilton County. That was it. But beyond that, it was just...
Did you hear?
Huh?
Did you hear anything about that measure before you seen it on the ballot? Or was that just like a surprise thing there?
Well, no, I didn't hear about it before, so it was a surprise to me.
Yeah, and then and the other people that were on the ballot, did you see any campaigning for any of those other people?
Yeah, I already know them already. I already know them personally, so I knew exactly who I was going to vote for. Todd Gottenhart, all these people. I've met them in person. I know them personally. I've been to the events. I've been to fundraisers. I already gave them money, so I know who they were already.
Because I've heard a lot of stories about people going to vote, and when they get their ballot, they see a list of all these people like senator and congressmen, like, you know, and they don't know who these people are, but they choose one, you know.
Well, that's normally how it would go. They're going to just vote down ballot for the party that they want to vote for. But this is why I tell people to be involved in local politics so you can know who they are. See, I'm involved. I know who everybody. I know the sheriff, Austin Garrett. I know Todd Gottenheimer. I know Greg Vital. I know Chuck Fleischman, Marsha Blackburn, all these people. I know them all by first name basis. They know me too. When I see him, I saw Greg at the event, shook his hand. That's a rep out here locally. I know him personally. I've been to his house. See, that's why I tell everybody, get involved locally. Those people matter a lot.
Yeah, that's a real big deal. And I don't see very much anyway of campaigning from those local people during a presidential race.
Well, it's not going to be on a level of Trump, obviously, because you're talking about billions of dollars versus a local person. They don't have anywhere near that money. So what you're going to see from local people is small local events. Maybe they might get on the news, local radio. It won't be anything near Trump or Kamala at all.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I was just wondering, I appreciate you taking my call. Maybe people will think about their local stuff more, hearing us talk about that.
Right on, man. Definitely. And they should. They really should, because it's a really important thing, man. But thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Enjoy the show. Have a great night.
Thank you, man.
Bye-bye.
So, yeah, I mean, that was a good call. Please get involved locally. I know everybody locally. Everybody. I know left, right. Look, the Tim Kelly, mayor of Chattanooga, Weston Wamp, the county mayor of Hamilton County, his sister, Cody Wamp, who's a DA. She's kind of a little shaky, kind of messing up. I know all these people. They've been around for a while. Anybody new that comes into town, I'm going to know who it is right away. I'm going to know all the tea. I got eyes in the streets. I got eyes in the streets here. I got eyes in the streets all over the world. But definitely, as I always say, know who your local people are. Get involved. Be involved with the voting process. Volunteer. Do whatever you can to be part of your community. All right, let's keep on going. Let's go to 843. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, it's Rocco calling from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, my man. How are you?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
I voted yesterday, my friend.
Well, congratulations, man. Hopefully you did the right thing and voted for the right guy and the right people.
Oh, yeah, Trump all the way. Trump 2024. Let's go.
Yes, indeed.
I called you the other night, and I was saying about looking around and paying attention. There was no funny business going on when I voted, and I'm not being racist or anything, but I didn't see any foreigners. It was good. I waited in line for an hour and a half, spoke to people. Everybody stood in the gymnasium. Some places was cool, some places was hot. But just some early numbers from South Carolina, Horry County, before noon on the day I voted, 44,000. Just before noon, early voting. Throughout the state of South Carolina, I'm pleased to admit that there was 500,000 plus votes, early votes, that were already cast in the state of South Carolina. So shout out South Carolina. I just want a quick question for you, ABL. Why is it you think certain states, and I know how you felt because I remember last time I talked to you about, certain states going their own republic and what you said and stated, and you were so poignant and brilliant with your answer. But I wanted to ask you, in an election that's this important, as important as this, don't you think there should be early voting, especially because it came down to two candidates right out of the gate? Like everybody from the Republican Party said, Trump's the man. Whoever Trump announces, that's vice president. And it was Kamala and Biden until, Trump took him down. What do you think about why don't they let early voting? Because Pennsylvania, to me, is an important state this time. Biden won Pennsylvania. I don't think he did in 2020. We all know what happened. I'm not going to say that. But what do you think? Why don't they have early voting?
I don't know why they don't have it. Is it Pennsylvania only? Or just
Yes.
in
Now,
this case?
I did speak to somebody who lives in York, near York. She voted early, but I don't know if it's in all the districts though.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about. That's weird. It should be available everywhere. But again, that's local. So that municipality, maybe they are against it. Maybe they didn't vote for it. I don't know what's going on with that. But at this point, it should be a national thing because they do so much on the left, especially, or they did so much back during 2020. Early voting without having anything passed legislatively. They did a lot of different things. So to counteract all that funny business, we need to have every tool available to us in the toolbox to succeed.
I totally agree with you, ABL. 1,000%. Hey, shout out to you. I love you. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Everybody, please get out and vote. Vote early, please. This is going to be monumental. This is going to be historical. We're living in history right now. ABL, you realize that, right? We are living in history right now. So let's go. Trump 2024, Trump Vance, let's go. I love you, bro. Keep up the good work. Peace.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it. All right. Shout out to the caller. Great call. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Let's go to. All right. And I'm a little slow to answering some of these, but y'all bear with me. 949, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, hey, good evening. ABL, it's Marta over here in Marietta, California. How are you doing?
It's all right. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm getting ready to move over to the next town over. Benefit's even more conservative, so we're happy. I wanted to bring up Trump being at McDonald's. My dad, when he was alive, he passed in January. I kid you not, he ate at McDonald's like every single day of his life, which isn't a good thing. I visited him and stayed with him for 5 months, and I tried to get him to, stop eating McDonald's. It just didn't happen. No, he would take like a half an hour to get out of the snow just to go to McDonald's because he was so infatuated. And I gotta tell you this. Okay, so last year, he was so upset that the McRib was not in town, which was like Gooding, Idaho. And so he had his neighbor, I kid you not, he had his neighbor, his best friend and the gal Sandy that took care of him, call up the corporate office. And then he had her call all the local ones and Twin and everywhere else. They're just trying to so I got to say, Trump 2024, make the McRib great again.
Absolutely.
Have you ever had a McRib?
I have, and they are delicious. I'm not even going to lie to you.
Would you, if they were to come back, would you get one?
I'm gonna get one for sure. It's a McDonald's right close to me, so I'm going straight there. Like, hey man, come on, let's get the McRib on the table.
Yeah, wouldn't that be even like, wouldn't that have been even like more fun if Trump was at the McDonald's during McRib season?
Oh, it would have been perfect. It would have been perfect seeing him with the McRibs in the bag. That'd have been just beautiful.
I was thinking about that because it came on my timeline on my Facebook, and I'm like, oh my God, when it came on my timeline and I saw it, I was like thinking about my dad, and I'm thinking, since he passed in January, such a great memory to know that he was, before he passed, he didn't get to have his McRib. It's the only thing he didn't have. But anyways, yeah, I'm finally a committed subscriber now. Yahoo! And I hope you get your gold plaque here really soon. We've got to put in the chat, give ABL his plaque right now. You got to be almost close to what is it, 2 million subscribers?
Well, not quite. I'm closer to 1.1 million.
Okay. Because it says, so it says 1.06, right?
Yeah. So once I get to 1.1 without the zero, then I'll be at 1,100,000.
Okay, so one last thing I want to add is that one video that you posted from Right-Winged Angel. I think I need to get a link of that so I could spam it and put it everywhere all over Facebook and Instagram, because I think that video was really good.
Go to his page, Right-Winged Angel on Instagram. You can share it right from his page.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, thank you, and have a great rest of your weekend. Keep on doing what you're doing in Trump 2024. keep on rocking. Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for the call.
Bye.
Appreciate you. All right, great call. And RIP to her dad. Yeah, man. Hey, my granddad on my mom's side, he died a long time ago. I was like, how old was I when Nene died? Nene was like, I don't know, this might have been like 05, something like that. It might have been like 05. So this is like almost 20 years ago when he died. But his thing, look, when you get older like that, you just kind of doing things, and that's just how you live. Nene was like 75, something like that when he passed. So he had a decent life. But the things that he liked to do was them Reese's Cups. Oh, the Reese's Cups, he got to have them all day. He was the kind of person, he'd go to the 7-Eleven and ran and go get a Reese's Cup, or he have a bag of them smaller bite-sized Reese's. He was not obese or nothing like that. He was like a regular build. But them Reese's Cups were the main thing. And them cigarettes. Yeah, them cigarettes. The cigarettes and the Reese's Cups. That was his thing until he died. So RIP to her dad. RIP everybody that passed. All right, let's go to 208. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, first time caller. My name is Dina.
Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing great. I love ABL. I'm so excited that I got through to somebody. Yay. Awesome.
Well, I am ABL. This is me right now.
I know, and I hear you, so I have a little bit of kickback on the TV. So anyways, I've been watching you for years. Huge fan. I appreciate everything you do. You bring the truth to the people. We need that. We need people that are not afraid to speak the truth. How do you feel the election is going?
I think it's going good. I think that Kamala is doing poorly, which is always good for us. Trump's doing well. The younger people are really liking what Trump is saying. He's doing amazing numbers on TikTok. I mean, I think Trump is really going to take it. Kamala is so bad. It's irredeemable. I don't see any pathway to victory for her, to be totally honest.
Have you heard about the discrepancies that are happening in Maricopa County, Arizona, where there was over 100,000 people that are not citizens, but yet they're still going to be allowed to vote in this election?
I've not heard about that, but if that is kind of going on, then it'll go.
It is.
If it's going on, it'll go to the Supreme Court and get overturned.
ABL, it went to the Supreme Court, and they said it's okay.
The Supreme Court of what? Of Arizona or the United States?
Of Arizona.
If it goes to the Supreme Court of the United States.
So I encourage everybody that's
caller, listen, wait a minute now. So once it goes to the Supreme Court of the U.S., it's not going to make it because you can't vote if you're not a citizen.
Arizona Supreme Court. So these people were accidentally registered to vote when they went to go get their driver's license. And the Supreme Court of Arizona said, we're cool with you letting them vote in this presidential election.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
This is like really serious, but well, here we are.
Yeah, it won't make it to the Supreme Court of the U.S.
No, it already did.
No,
it made it to the Arizona Supreme Court.
It's two different things. The Supreme Court of Arizona is one thing. The U.S. Supreme Court, that's Clarence Thomas, and they're like, it's not going to make it past. Once it gets there, it's going to get overturned.
So then what do you think is going to happen? Because, I mean, the election is in a few days, and if they're allowed to vote in this particular election, are we going to have like some strife going on? Because obviously there are things that are not legit.
If the illegal aliens vote, it will not. Their votes ultimately will not be counted because it's going to go to the Supreme Court or the U.S. and get overturned.
Well, so this, what I'm talking about right now, already went to the Supreme Court of Arizona.
I understand
and they said that it was okay for them to vote.
I understand what you're saying.
And it's 100,000 people. That's a lot of people.
Thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you, caller. I appreciate you. All right. Shout out to the caller, but I think there was miscommunication there. She's saying this went to the Supreme Court of Arizona. Okay, I took her word for it. Supreme Court of Arizona is not the Supreme Court of the United States. It's two different courts. So ultimately, it's not going to work when she goes to the U.S. Supreme Court. So my point behind all this is go out there and vote, please. Don't be discouraged. If there's an issue with votes that can't be counted, you got to trust the system. That's the only way you can go about it. Also, again, if you're in Arizona and you're seeing some weird things happening, you need to get some state legislation to happen to prevent that kind of thing from going on. Okay? That'd be what I say. I'll take a few more calls here. 573, you don't learn who I'm speaking to.
Anthony.
Yes.
Anthony, Brian Logan.
That's me.
I love you, brother. It's JoJo. You remember me?
I'm not quite sure, man. What's going on?
Okay, the politician's motto. You remember that poem?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
All right, well, I got something to say. And it's about the left and the Democrats and all these people talking about Trump's a threat to democracy, right? We hear it every day on the news, the media, the false fake news, right? Trump being a threat to democracy. Well, we're not a democracy. We're a republic, and not many people know that. Like, we are just not a democracy. So if he is a threat to democracy, that's probably a good thing. So that's one thing. And then I wanted to say that Trump's, his campaigns are spoken well. He speaks sense to the American people. He sounds intelligent. It's probably because he is. He's a very smart businessman, not a politician. And that is why I proclaim the politician's motto, the poem I wrote, which it'll come into play, while being a very strong Trump supporter and a supporter of all Americans, red, black, Spanish, Indian, white, and all other Americans of any ethnicity. I love all people. Yet I'm most concerned about American citizens, legal, hardworking American citizens. With that being said, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are not. And the establishment, they are not. Okay? As simple as that. On every single one of Kamala's interviews or rallies, she sounds like she obtained her education by means other than passing academic exams. All right? That's what I got to say. And then I just saw something today, and I didn't even know who Beyonce was, and I didn't know what she looked like. Man, I'm 62 years old. I'm from Chicago. My dad was a Democrat. I left out of there. You remember, man, I told you this story, and the politician's motto, it plays into it, because it's really an amazing thing how they just steal our money and fool people, and it just media and everything is just amazing. But I love you, brother, and I love what you're doing, man. And you'll always have my support, and so will Trump, and so will every American citizen on this earth. And I love you.
Thank you for the call. Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Peace.
All righty. Shout out to the caller. All right. Let me take one more here. Maybe I'm too slow to the trigger. Let me try to do that again. All right. Let's go. 860. You don't learn who I'm speaking to.
Hey, Anthony. It's Up and A Ranger Xbox. How you doing? A brother from another mother.
It's all good, man. What's going on?
Just hoping and praying and hoping. They don't steal this election like they stole the last one.
Nah, we get to go this time.
Yeah, I believe we are, but 4 years ago I lost my job because I made a video complaining about the stolen election. I got fired from Pratt & Whitney, where I worked 13 years, stellar work records. I was canceled. But on that note, do you know who the first celebrity that was canceled live on TV?
Who's that?
It was Jimmy the Greek during the late 70s.
Okay.
During a football game. They were discussing why all of a sudden there were so many very talented, big, strong black men in the NFL. And Jimmy the Greek said, well, slave plantation owners used to breed blacks to be bigger so they could work harder around the plantation. Well, they got pissed about that, and he got canceled. But he didn't tell any lies. Well, he was the first man that was canceled on TV. I think it's a Houston Oilers game, or I don't remember. Might have been New Orleans, the Saints. I don't know, but I was watching the game with my dad. I remember that. And everybody got all hurt, and I'm like, Dad, isn't that true? Because I was educated before the Department of Education was created. Indiana was number 3 in America. America was number 1 in education in the world. They don't teach these kids that slavery was universal. They don't teach these kids that up until the turn of the century, even white people used to sell their children when they were poor. And that's the deal with these people. They want to bring us back to this level of poverty. People experience the dark ages. That's why they've been in the dark ages.
You're breaking up real bad. Can you hear me? You're breaking up real bad.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Well, I'm going to let you go, maybe. But how you can tell the climate crap is all a bunch of hokey? The bottom line. If it was true, they would promote shorter people. Short would be the new sexy, because 3 foot is the perfect height for the human being to populate this planet, is what smarter than people than I calculated, because you would need less than half of everything that we use now. A building story would only be 5 foot instead of 10 feet. You follow me? And I'll close with that. It's all about the psychological warfare, brother. And believe me, if they wanted you to be 3 foot tall 100 years from now, they would start the psychological operation right now. But they're not doing that, so it's just bull. So I'll leave you with that, brother. You take care.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Love you.
All right, now. All right, shout out to the call. So we're just gonna talk through the breaking up. We're just gonna talk through it. All right. Shout out to you guys. Let's try one more. 310. You don't know who I'm speaking to.
This is Ron from Georgia. Man, that last caller, I guess we want to have a nation of pygmies or something. I don't know. Oh, man. But I'm encouraged, my brother, this week. It's another encouraging week. We went out as a family and voted and got our votes in and counted. And I'm imploring for all the other fellow Americans, red-blooded, true blue, loving God, country, and family Americans, to get out there and vote early, get it done. We can do it. And, man, I tell you, it's been, I watched Joe Rogan today, my wife and I, and, man, that was enduring. I saw a lot about Trump and, very personable guy, very funny, witty, and, very, personable. And I don't see why people hate him so much. But like I said, he shared all that information about that, where people did love him at one time before it became the R word,
Mm-hmm.
So, but we're seeing progress, in the what's going on with happening with Kamala and everything. She still can't pull it together. I don't care. You can bring out all the stars and everything like that, bait and switch and everything like that. The people well, I'm sure they was out in the audience clowning her, what happened to the show, but Meg Stallion thing wasn't going on, so people just got clowned. They do anything to get the crowd right there. If they can't bust you in, they'll bait you in, and then, like I said, bait and switch, But the people want to go ahead and buy it. The ones that went there, they look for one thing and got another, and this is what you would get if this woman should ever had touched the office of the presidency. Is a bait and switch. Like I said, this Joy is the joke's on you, and we ain't playing with that, because we don't want the joke to be on us. If she got in there, that Joy is not what's happening with us. But you know what? I'm encouraged to see what's going on. Trump is a powerhouse. I mean, that man talked for 3 hours. He has all his cognitive abilities, recalling names and places and everything like that. I have a hard time remembering all the names of my kids, and he's naming all these people, and it was really awesome to see, and we would with getting him in would be knowing that we got somebody that's savvy and able to guide this country in the way that we should go. I believe that God has called this man. I believe that God has still called this nation. God hasn't taken his hands off this nation just yet. We just need not to forsake, continue to press on, continue to pray, believe, and these things will happen. We counting down 10 more days, and then it'll be all over. I can get my phone back, with all these here spam messages and calling for my money, but praise God. I thank God that we're able to do it. We endured these past 3 years of campaigning and everything, and wondering what is all going to be coming to. We're reaching the climax, gang. Fellow Americans, we're reaching the climax. ABL, you just keep on pushing, my brother. You're doing an awesome job. I'm seeing other podcasters and everything. They're being demonetized and everything because they're hitting hard and everything like that. And so I guess the YouTube algorithms can't take it. So they say, well, you know what? We're not going to let you go ahead and talk about it on like this. We're going to take away your money. But you know what? They still pushing on. They say, we're going to push until they cancel us all together. But you know what? This is the attitude of real Americans. You know what? They can't shut us up. How are they going to do it? Trying to shut us up is going to make us get louder. But people continue to pray, continue to press. It's going to happen, and I can't wait. It's going to be a joyous day on November 6th when we can hear you say it was a snowball effect. I believe it's going to be a snowball effect. I remember it like that when it happened with Ronald Reagan. There was 49-state windfall. Only one state went another way. It was a landslide. That's what I'm looking forward to at this particular point in time. The people that know will know. So praise God, my brother. We're still praying for you, beloved. I can't wait to see our plaque, to get up in there. We need our plaque. YouTube, we earned it. ABL earned it. I want to see you go ahead and show it, man, because you deserve it. God bless you, my brother. You just have a wonderful weekend, okay?
Right on, man. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right.
All right, great call. I think that'd be right for me today. I think that'd be a wrap. It's 11:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be back. Same bat time, same bat place at 8 p.m. Eastern Time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be back streaming on Wednesday. I'm here every Wednesday and Saturday. And, of course, we got just a few days before the election. So Tuesday, November the 5th is general election. A lot of you guys already got early voting. A lot of you guys are already voted. I've already voted. So I'm not going to be worried about trying to rush and get there on voting day and all that weird stuff. I've already voted in person, ID, paper ballot in Tennessee, so I'm good to go. November the 5th, a Tuesday, we are going to stream the election results. The 2020 election night was out of this world. I think we reached, 25,000 concurrent at once, And the stream was for hours. I was up all night. I remember that. That was a crazy night. I remember that very well. That was a crazy, crazy night. We're going to do it again, and it's going to be just as big or bigger, and we're going to get a better result this time. Okay, we're going to get a better result this time. We're prepared for all the funny business and the games they want to do. We're prepared. We're ready to get rocking and rolling. All right, so shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all again for being here. I'll be back live again on Wednesday, but I'm here pretty much every day, pre-recorded content. Uncle ABL is coming back after the election. How about that? Once we get done with the election, we're going to bring that back. I might even do something before the election, like a little soft relaunch of Uncle ABL. All my links, everything will be in the box. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. Thank you to everybody for watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you do. I could not do the show without you. Thank you to the mods for keeping the trolls in check. I really, really appreciate y'all. Again, couldn't do the show without you. But thank you to everybody for watching, retweeting, super chatting. Y'all know what's going on. I think I may have more super chats to read. Thank you to Amber of Nails, who says, when will you do a fan meet and greet? I need to do one. What I'm going to do is put up a poll on my community tab. Matter of fact, let's do this right now. So I don't say I'm going to do it and then don't do it. Let me do it right now as I'm thinking about it. So we're going to do a community post tab. And the question is going to be, where should I do my first meet and greet? Okay. Give me a major place. Don't give me like Podunkville, Arkansas. Shout out to Podunkville, Arkansas. If you guys are out there, shout out. But you understand what I'm saying? Like a bigger place that's near you. Okay. All right. Where should I do? Let me get to it first. How about that? That might be fun. If I could find where. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Okay. Where should I do a fan meet and in what? Okay. I got to phrase it right so you kind of understand what I'm saying from the beginning. I will be doing a fan meet and greet. I will be doing fan meet and greets soon. So you know it ain't just one. You could do multiple. Okay, I'll be doing fan meet and greet soon. What city should I hold them in? Just so you know it's more than one. So I put that question on my community tab. It's up, it's live. And wherever you guys tell me, whatever gets the most votes, New York, Chicago, I guess I got to go fight with the migrants, right? If you bring me to Chicago, give me a bulletproof vest so the migrants can't stab me when I get off the plane. Okay. So I'm reading some of the comments right here. All right. I'm going to read some right here. Atlanta, that'll be my number one choice because it's right there. Nashville, Knoxville, because it's close. But I don't mind traveling. I don't mind getting on the bird and flying somewhere. San Diego, California, Nashville, Pittsburgh, Columbus, Ohio, Nashville. I see a lot of Nash Vegas. Nashville might be the move, Boomhauer. That might be it, man. I might have come back to Nashville to see y'all. Vegas, a lot of Vegas. Anywhere in Texas, Toronto. I've been to Toronto before. Shout out to Toronto. Mount Rushmore, Asheville, North Carolina. That'd be a good place where they get themselves kind of fixed up. Kansas City, Virginia, meet and greet at McDonald's. Springfield, Missouri, or Springfield, Ohio. ATL, Mount Rushmore, San Diego. I've seen more than one San Diego. Another Marietta, that's Atlanta again. LA, Dollywood. So far I'm seeing, not my house. No, not at my house, Dwayne. That's funny. But I'm seeing quite a few for Nashville and San Diego. That's the two main ones I've seen so far. Washington, D.C., perhaps. Atlanta. So I'm seeing a lot for Atlanta. A lot of you guys are going to vote Atlanta. What I'm going to do is put up the question, right, on my community tab. So then I'm going to put up another one when I narrow down the places. Or you know what? I ain't going to do that. I'm going to just see what the most responses are by reading the comments. And then I'm going to do it that way. All right. Hey, that'd be good, Boomhauer. Boomhauer says, if you come to Nashville, let's do a man on the street interview with people downtown. Yes. Yes, that'd be a good one. Okay. Being he not coming to Georgia, being there, come on. You got to go to Georgia. Atlanta, I'm gonna do one in Atlanta. I'm gonna talk to Anton and see what he did with the meet and greets, how he set it up. I got a few contacts in Atlanta. I got a lot of contacts in Atlanta. People that got venues. I already know of a venue. Hey, I already know of a place in my mind, and I'm thinking about this place, and the person is probably watching this, and then they're about to get a phone call. Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna do a tour. That's what I'm saying. NKM, you're right, NKM. I'm gonna do a tour. It ain't gonna be just one place. I'm gonna do a tour. So I may go to Atlanta, Nashville. I may go to San Diego. So I may do stuff on the east, and then I'll go to the west. And I got my travel little setup, so I can still do my videos on the road. So yeah, Atlanta. And if I do Atlanta, what should I do? Like inside the city, or should I be out like Cobb somewhere? I probably would go to Cobb, Marietta, Smyrna, Vinings, that area. That'd be really good. I like Vinings. I might do it out there if they got a nice venue, like a Bar Taco, somewhere like that. Anyway, I'm just kind of throwing ideas out there right now, but yeah, I do want to do some meet and greets. Thank you to Nova, who says great content and lots of laughs. Shout out to you, Nova. I appreciate it. And thank you to Big Hale Fan, who says, what did I log into? You logged into the best podcast you've ever seen. So shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. I'll be back live again on Wednesday. Same bat time, same bat place. 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm here putting up pre-recorded content pretty much every day, except for Sunday most days, unless I'm feeling really ambitious and I want to get the video out there. But tomorrow, I'm pretty much chilling. Y'all might see me in Atlanta tomorrow. You never know. If you walking around town and you see this tall black guy with this beard, and you don't know whether he's 25 or 45, that's me. All right, but that's going to be it. I'll see you guys again soon on a live stream on Wednesday. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.